This channel is part of the History Hit network.
One typical British town. Its high street was once its heart and soul. Not anymore. But what if we could turn back time? To the days of the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker. A group of shopkeepers and their families have left the 21st century behind.
You are going to discover what the high street was really like.
Your aim is to make this town fall in love with its high street again.
Today's mantra is sell, sell, sell.
Each week they're living and trading through a different era.
Can I get any more left?
From Victorian to Edwardian.
Rabbits, pheasants.
Through peacetime and wartime. The swinging 60s to the shocking 70s. 100 years of high street history.
It's absolutely magical.
Can they sell the products of the past to 21st century customers?
Oh, the poor creatures. I'd be frightened to give this to the birds.
Pin, pin.
And can they make a profit while they're at it?
This is unbelievably hard. I don't know how these poor buggers did this in the old days.
If I'm really being honest, I hate it.
Tonight, the high street moves into World War II. The shopkeepers and their customers are in for a shock.
Well, I'm used to selling, and I'm not selling now, I'm rationing. It's horrible.
My problem is that I've used up all my rations.
We live in constrained times.
And things get fraught.
Scousers and Geordies don't get on.
But all I wanted was bloody baps. How hard is it they've made the bread?
But can they persuade the town to love their high street in wartime?
I feel like I could take this all home and in one go have a good meal and starve for the rest of the week.
The shopkeepers are travelling forward in time to prove themselves on the World War II high street. And for the first time, profit isn't everything. Shopkeepers had to take on a new role. They became part of the official war effort, regulating rationing, distributing limited goods, and making sure everyone got a fair share to survive.
The struggle will be the lack of takings. There's not going to be a lot of takings, but we've decided that it's the Second World War and it's the Dunkirk spirit.
There's nothing better than adversity to bring people together.
It's not really going to be about making lots of money. It's about getting through.
As they arrive in the market square, they are confronted with the austerity of wartime.
It's very murky looking, isn't it? Very drab and grey.
What's the war?
No one will come in if they see it all horrible like this.
We're a British restaurant.
A British restaurant?
That's what it says.
A restaurant, Mum, that's not just cakes.
Saffron's right to be worried. For 3 eras, the Devlins have struggled in all their catering endeavours.
I didn't think I could make cakes, but I really didn't think I could make them this badly.
What on earth have we got us into?
Enforcing the strict rules of the era is the High Street's own Chamber of Commerce, 5th-generation baker Tom Herbert, social historian Juliet Gardner, and successful greengrocer Greg Wallace.
The holiday feel of the 1930s is over. Your challenge is to give the people of Shepton Mallet the full World War II experience and get you and them pulling together as a community. We're not expecting you to make huge profits. In fact, we're not even sure you're going to have very much to sell.
You are in the front line of the British war effort, introducing Shepton Mallet to a culture of make, do and mend.
I think we're going to find out which of you will look after each other and which of you will look after yourselves. Good luck, ladies and gentlemen.
The biggest change on the High Street is that the Baker's has also become a British restaurant.
Think positive.
Oh, think positive, yes, think positive.
Oh, this fantastic. Oh, wow!
Oh, it's so wicked.
The government set up British restaurants and they really work to help with rationing and to feed people, mainly workers, give them a decent midday meal.
They found it difficult with a tea shop. I think running a restaurant's going to be a heck of a challenge.
After some disasters with food in previous eras, the Devlins are surprisingly upbeat.
What we have here is a very utilitarian establishment for simple food, along with a bakery, we'll be able to do.
Our butchers this week are selling nothing but mutton.
The ration list is as follows. Mutton, 1.5 pound of meat to be sold.
Who eats mutton these days? I bet even if you ask people, they wouldn't even know what mutton was.
Mutton is the meat of a sheep over 2 years old.
So that's a huge challenge for our butcher.
Even clothes were rationed. Dressmaker Jill will have to persuade her customers to make do and mend instead of selling them new dresses.
Looks a bit emptier.
A lot of it won't be selling stuff so much as fixing what little they do have.
Blacksmith Simon's 1930s toy shop has been replaced with a practical hardware store.
It's quite sparsely stocked. It looks as if it's just really essential items.
If there's one family I think are going to find it a real shock, and that's the grocers, because they've been king of this street up to now.
If you love history, then you'll love History Hit. We have tons of exclusive documentaries about the most important people in history that you will not find anywhere else. Whether you're looking to dive into life and crime in Victorian London, the lessons that can be learnt from the Middle Ages, or the forgotten history that deserves to be heard, History Hit has a documentary for you, just a click away. And it's not just documentaries either. We have a network of incredible history podcasts, bringing you new episodes every day. Sign up now for a 14-day free trial, and Absolute History fans get 50% off their first 3 months. Just be sure to use the code AbsoluteHistory at checkout.
For 3 eras, the Surgesons have thrived and made huge profits.
Today's mantra is sell, sell, sell.
But the war has changed everything.
Oh, Mother Hubbard, look at it.
For master salesman Carl, shortages are a shock.
You see what we've got on the shelves now, and I bet you that's all we've got.
Daughter Safi is equally aggrieved.
When I got 2 oranges, which is nothing, I could eat them within an hour, 2 oranges. I love oranges. People are going to be quite disappointed.
When we're talking about shortages, before the war, Britain was importing something like 55 million tonnes of food. Within a month at the start of the war, that had dropped by 2/3.
So basically, there's sweet Fanny Adams in the fridge.
Britain was really an island under siege.
As well as distributing meagre rations, the shopkeepers will have to survive on them. 2 ounces of butter, cheese, margarine, lard and tea, 4 ounces of bacon, and just 1 egg per person per week.
And that'll be our daily ration, will it? Or weekly ration?
Weekly ration.
It's not, is it?
We get that much cheese.
You could eat that in 5 seconds.
There's not a lot there.
Well, enough for a week. There's probably enough for a day.
Well, eat frugally, but I'll still moan when I'm hungry, because I don't like getting hungry. I get very upset when I'm hungry.
I think it's going to be challenging because there are lots of us, and you guys have got hollow legs. There's probably going to be a few growly tummies around.
You have your own food, so you, decide what you do with it?
No, you don't have your own food. It's not for you to say, oh, well, that's my rasher of bacon, isn't it? It's about Mum and I being able to use all of the rations for the family.
It's not all doom and gloom for Rafe and the rest of the shopkeepers, as they have been given a communal vegetable garden and chickens to help supplement their rations. The group of local customers who have shopped with them for the past 3 eras won't be as lucky. They can only buy rationed goods at the shops for the next week.
A bit anxious about the size of it. But looking through it, doesn't seem to be as much in as I thought there might be.
There's a war on, don't you know, so let's get inside.
This era will be the ultimate test of customer loyalty.
So how many children in the family, Mr. Blair?
It's 4 boys and me.
I feel sorry for the people in the olden days.
During the war, grocers and butchers became bureaucrats for the government and were expected to get to grips with a complex rationing system quickly.
We don't keep the books, they keep them.
Yes, I'm all right, not on the envelope. Stop getting excited.
I flipping hate paper with a passion.
At the butchers, Sharp and Son have got to break the news of just how small the meat ration is.
What can we get and how much of it?
No, we don't. Well, you can get 1.5 pounds of meat.
Starvation diet, then.
Oh, yeah, I just get to see how we do.
And at the grocers, it's a similar story.
Is that 2 ounces each, then, for a week?
For a week. So do be sparing, my darling.
I know. That's very shocking.
It was a real eye-opener, because the shelves are just bare. It's like walking into a closed shop, almost.
It looks so good. I would love to have some more, but obviously I can't. I'm just worried it's not going to last very long, 2 of us.
It's not just the customers who are disappointed with the realities of rationing.
It's a bit strange. There's nothing here. People would have come in and really seen this and would have gone, bugger, what am I going to do tonight? So it's quite disheartening, really.
Even if we sold everything in the shop, we don't get about £100 because there's so little prices. And if in like all the other years we've gotten thousands of pounds.
Well, I'm used to selling, and I'm not selling now. I'm rationing, and it's not the same. It's horrible.
One of the things that wasn't rationed during the war was bread. At the bakers, Caroline is back in charge, but she is restricted to making the national loaf. The wartime Ministry of Food ordered bakers to make a wholemeal loaf with added vitamin supplements to maximise Britain's nutrition. But some elements of the recipe jar with modern tastes.
I feel really uncomfortable about putting 7.5 tablespoonfuls of salt, and I live in fear of yet another salty loaf and a whole pile of complaints from people who are already going to be on the back foot because they're challenged by the shortages and the rationing anyway.
Very salty.
Caroline's fears about the dough are borne out.
Salty.
Oh, it tastes like the sea!
Yeah.
I'll leave you to it.
The salt was added to help preserve the loaf, but that's no comfort for Caroline.
I'd just like to be able to make what I consider to be a good loaf of bread. And here we are in the 4th era, and we're still making what I perceive to be, well, just inferior bread. And as a baker, it's just so frustrating.
Caroline is right to be concerned, as during the war, this wholemeal loaf was universally hated. In fact, people dubbed it Hitler's secret weapon. But what will their customers make of it?
Hi, I'd like some white bread, please.
It's not white, it's brown.
Oh, no. Really?
Yes.
OK, I'll just have to make do with brown then, I suppose.
The salt level, we should tell you now, is relatively high. Would you like to try a sample?
I would. Yes. But it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
Our first sale of the day.
9:20. Oh, Lord.
The national loaf isn't exactly a big hit with customers, but they're getting into the spirit of making do.
It's chewy and a bit salty, but fine.
You have
Cheapest,
to give
yes,
me the
isn't
it? On the streets of Shepton Mallet, blacksmith Simon and dressmaker Jill have teamed up to introduce their customers to a culture of make do and mend.
I think it's hugely important, still continue to strive to be self-sufficient. There could be a crisis just around the corner at any time.
They're collecting scrap and clothes that can be mended and recycled.
This is something you want an edge put on? Yeah, I can do that.
You could do.
The blacksmiths were the first recyclers. Make, do and mend is just second nature to us.
In wartime, the government encouraged everyone to recycle their scrap metal for the war effort. In Shepton Mallet, they collected 18 tons to build a tent.
Oh, wow.
But the bodice is really pretty.
Yeah. In the 40s, things weren't available. You know, you couldn't get fabric, you couldn't buy clothes off the peg. So the people with the skills to make things would have been indispensable, which is great feeling.
Yeah. Do you feel good that you've actually managed to be able to recycle some of this?
Yeah.
Is it better than just throwing it away?
Yep, it's so much better.
Walk on. Look forward.
To make their rations go as far as possible, the shopkeepers have pooled their resources.
Oh, they're nice.
Grocer's wife Debbie is taking on responsibility for putting together a communal meal every night.
I just want us all to be really close and to embrace what's coming ahead, and I think we're kind of going to get there.
I reckon this area now is going to become quite a meeting place, because everybody's just seemed to gravitate here today, and everyone's coming in saying, oh, this is really cool, and then they're sitting down and they're just staying longer. Fab. War girls.
They're cool. We
We're doing well, actually. Yeah. We're doing well.
Yummy bread and jam for breakfast. Oh, what fun.
Butchers Andrew and Michael have opened early as they want to catch the Shepton Mallet breakfast trade. It's not bacon they're cooking, but macon, made from sheep, not pigs.
Macon is cured mutton.
We're turning a sheep into a pig. We make bacon out of mutton. That's where we've got macon. Macon, mergers, mossages.
But it might be a tough sell.
Mutton, they say, as tough as mutton. That was the... Tough as old boots.
I'm confident that we can get people to try our macon. As to whether they will buy it will be another issue.
Go on, get your macon. We're in a war, hard times. Go on. We can make sheep taste like pig. Just as nice. Best thing you can have for your breakfast. Go on. Mutton, bacon, macon.
Is it mutton then?
Is it mutton? It certainly is mutton.
So why aren't there many pigs?
So there isn't enough of anything, so you've got to make the most of it. Everyone wants bacon,
right.
So what we're doing is making bacon out of anything we can get our hands on. There you go.
Interesting, seriously.
Thank you.
That is gorgeous.
Oh, it's very tasty. That's all right, actually. That really is all right.
Bacon, it's an easy sell, to be honest, because it tastes like bacon. Everyone recognises the flavours in there. You've got a slight mutton hue in the background, but it's not negative. The proof of the pudding is in the eating, is it not?
The butchers have managed to satisfy their customers. And at the grocer's, Carl and Debbie have a scheme to do the same.
We were a bit sneaky in the last era and we've actually hid some food.
We knew there was a war coming, so we've decided to keep some stuff back that we knew that wouldn't be under rationing rules, so we could, one, keep our customers happy, and two, obviously, keep the family's finances in good shape for the war. Let's go. Let's open the door then. There's our kit's still here.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah. Got things to sell. Harry, if the Ministry of Food find out, you're going to prison, not me, all right?
See what we've got.
Oh, wow. And we got sugar, spaghetti.
I think that's an amazing stash, Aaron.
We're going to get it under the counter, keep it under the counter, and then when customers are coming in saying, have we got this, have we got that, say, no, but we have got this, and unfortunately, it's a bit expensive.
We've got brown sugar.
Brown sugar, that's like gold dust.
I reckon we could sell for almost 10 quid a bag, couldn't we?
And we know the likes of Mr. Blake and Mrs. Payne have got little kiddies. They'll want ketchup, and we've got ketchup.
I think it's got to be a good £5 a jar, though.
Well,
they were £2.50 then last year.
We don't want to rob them blind.
Well, no, because they've got an account that you want them to spend their money here.
Well, they will spend their money here, don't worry, that's the whole idea of the plan. It's a cunning plan, isn't it? So, we'll get that covered up with something.
Whilst the grocers are helping themselves, the bakers have a hard task ahead. They need to open the British restaurant and feed the town.
You'll be serving a group of 30 school children at 1 p.m. OK.
30? Where are we going to put 30 kids?
The other problem with the stuff today is that mostly everything's to do with carrot. Example, carrot fudge.
Boiled carrots, served with some orange essence, and that's it.
During the war, it was believed that carrots helped the RAF see in the dark. But this was a cunning ruse by the government to conceal from Germany the invention of radar and also get rid of a glut of carrots.
We've got this recipe now for carrelade, which is just swede and carrot, and then put in a muslin and just squeezed out.
Yeah.
No, that's no. We tell them afterwards.
Yeah, it's swede and carrot.
For the main course, two slightly more familiar wartime classics, spam fritters and corned beef hash.
I felt just like a school dinner lady. I thought it was bad enough cooking for 6 of us all the time, but 30 people, definitely school dinners. God.
At the grocer's, customers are still getting used to the realities of rationing.
You wouldn't want to wait in queues all the time.
I wouldn't have the time to wait in queues like this all the time.
Eggs. Your weekly allowance each. You're allowed 1 egg each. Is that right? Yes.
1 egg. Dear, what are we going to do?
Cereals.
Yeah.
Cereals. We have got these wheat flakes, but for our special customers, we've got some down the back.
Yes, do come this way. Excuse me. I can tempt you with a few of my goodies. But these can't be on account, they've got to be... So we've got shredded wheat, we've got cornflakes, cream crackers, Lion's tea.
If we have some shredded wheat?
So you certainly can.
Yeah.
I'll just put those on there. I'll tell you one thing, you can be the first and only customers in Shepton Mallet to get cane sugar during the war.
In that case, it's mine.
It's got to be a fiver.
Fiver?
It's got to be, isn't it? So we've got these, right? Now, as you know, before the war, these were around about £2 a pack. Yeah. But unfortunately, for wartime now, I'm afraid they've doubled. They're £4 a pack.
Goodness me.
All right, we'll try.
Right. Have you got a bag, Mrs. Marsh? Special one there, don't anybody see that?
Let's see it.
All right, see.
We've been round the back.
Have you? What's round the back?
Oh, we got some special items around there, man.
I think Carl looked after us rather well. He said we were special customers, which was really nice. That was just quite exciting to be offered something perhaps other people wouldn't. You know, I like that.
I've managed to sell some already. I've make what? Christ, over a tenner already. So it's a good start of the week. So would you be interested in coming and have a look at my little goodies? I've got some really good things here. But,
how much are the cream crackers?
It's £3 a box.
Look at those.
Yeah, so that's cool.
How much is the lemon? We're whispering. £2 for a tin of soup.
Well, I'm the local spib, as they say, so yeah.
I'll get it for an emergency.
As shocking as they might be, Carl's prices are actually quite reasonable. In wartime, luxuries such as melons could change hands for as much as £2, a whopping £68 in today's money.
1 bag, hiding jobs. Yeah, I mean, the black market, I've got no knowledge of it in real life, but I mean, that's what I would do if it was me. And have the chance to make a couple of bob, I know by the end of the week that tray would be empty.
Back at the British restaurant, the school kids are arriving. Can the bakers succeed in winning them over to wartime fare? First up is the carolade. Perhaps the corned beef will go down better.
It's like cow patty. I'm not saying it's disgusting, it's just I'm not used to it.
That is vile.
The meal hasn't been a success, and there are a lot of leftovers.
I wasn't expecting the reaction to be good, you know. But they said that the spam was horrible, the corned beef was horrible. Well, to be honest, that's what everyone would eat. So if they don't like it, then tough. They wouldn't survive back then.
My feet have never hurt so much, ever. It's just... I know it's such a whinge, but they hurt.
There's no let-up for Caroline and Nigel. They have to now prepare the next day's national loaf. Debbie has also asked them to make bread rolls, as she's got a special dinner of mutton burgers and rhubarb crumble planned for tonight's communal meal. But Nigel has a problem with it.
Debbie wants to make burgers in a bun, but what we have to do, bearing in mind the period, is use what we've got. And we've got bread left over from the lunch today, so we'll just have to use that.
Whilst the bakers are working hard, the Surgesons have discovered the communal veg patch.
Better than nothing.
During the war, everyone was encouraged to dig for victory by growing their own food. Land everywhere was taken over for growing, even the gardens at Buckingham Palace. This vegetable garden is meant for all the shopkeepers, but the Surgesons have a different plan.
Yeah, I think this is really good because it's like almost like free stock.
Just fill up that basket as much as you can get in it. Okay. And then we'll pull out more tomorrow if we need more, if we sell them all.
It's like a massive profit, isn't it, Mum?
We could probably charge £2.95.
Yeah, we'll sure to feed everyone and make some money.
I think selling it's only the right thing. You wouldn't give it away. Dig for victory is what they say, and that's what we're doing.
It's been a triumphant afternoon in the garden, but Debbie has just found out that Nigel hasn't made her bread rolls.
Oh, I just had to wait an hour to go with that dickhead of a man. I just can't do it anymore. Who do you think?
Nigel.
Yeah, but all I wanted was bloody baps. How hard is it? They've made the bread. That's the hard bit. Rolling the baps is easy.
Scousers and Geordies don't get on, but at the end of the day, regardless of whether we're going or not, we're going to live the period. And it's just a difference of opinions, that's all. You know, she's right and she's wrong and I'm right.
All he needed to contribute for dinner tonight was to make baps. I've made the crumble, I was making the burger mix, the baked potatoes are in the oven. You know, I don't know how I can be nice all the time when he's been an absolute tosspot. And it's really made me cross.
Bit of a mountain over a molehill, but we'll get through it.
But I don't feel comfortable now, that's the difficult part. I don't want any dinner.
I can smell burning having said that. Oh, God. Oh, hell. Oh, her crumble is burnt. Oh, God. It's not funny, OK? It's not funny. There's nothing I can do about them, you know. I could smell the burning when I came in. It's not rocket science. You've got stuff in the oven that they're going to burn. I'm not really happy just to keep providing everybody if I'm not going to get something back in return.
It's the final straw for Debbie, and Caroline is now in the firing line.
Caroline, hear me out. If you would give us that bread anyway, then why couldn't you just turn them into baps?
Does it matter what form that bread takes?
Have you tried to eat a burger in sliced bread?
To say, actually, what we're contributing is not to your specific requirements. It's crazy.
It's just what I expected, that was all.
But if we can't deliver that, then really...
Well, you could have delivered, you just chose not to.
I think to say that we chose not to makes it out to be a deliberate thing, and that's unfair.
With the wartime spirit now in tatters, tonight's communal meal is cancelled.
It doesn't matter who was right and who was wrong. It wasn't about that. It was just about the fact that someone was upset. And I didn't want them to be upset anymore.
It's an air raid.
Look at that layout. So what are we supposed to do now, get in that little shelter?
OK, people, I think we should kind of go.
Anybody here? Straight over to the butchers on the side door, please.
Nigel is acting as air raid warden, responsible for the safe evacuation of the high street.
Caroline, come on. There's a siren. Come on, go.
This is only a drill. If this was the real thing, they would only have 12 minutes to get to a shelter before the bombs started to fall.
Into the side door, shops.
Most of the shopkeepers head for the cellar, but the butchers and the blacksmith have to get into their Morrison shelter, a small steel cage under the kitchen table.
Mind your head on the corner. Oh, this is a bit cosy, isn't it?
I forgot Chloe. Chloe!
The bakers and grocers will have to spend the evening together after all.
My heart was just pounding.
The siren makes you makes you move.
We could be under here for days.
Would you get in trouble for not going to your shelter?
No, you just die, don't you? There's no trouble in that. If the house was bombed and you weren't under here, then you'd be the one that died.
Imagine if this was covered in rubble.
Yeah, how the hell would you get out? You could bloody...
You wouldn't, would you?
It wasn't just the big cities of Britain that were bombed. In Shepton Mallet, the skies were alive with enemy bombers, and more than 200 bombs were dropped attempting to destroy the nearby railway line.
People used to have to live on their wits, you know, and that made them, well, I don't know what it made them. It must have made them very different people to how they started.
Much harder than us lot.
Oh, yes. Oh, much tougher.
it does kind of bring it home. This really did happen, and just coming actually out of this and seeing if your house and everything you had was still here, that must have been the worst thing of all. Or maybe if you'd lost somebody, or somebody had been left behind and you were told that you couldn't come back.
That you were left behind or I was left behind, it would be so really upsetting.
Actually, I came out thinking that Chloe was ahead of me, and ridiculously, I don't know how it happened, but Chloe was behind me. I was absolutely panic-stricken then. I nearly forgot you. I mean, sorry.
Things are back to normal after last night's air raid. And even Caroline and Debbie have gained some perspective on their argument.
What happened yesterday, as much as you'd like it not to happen, it did happen, and you just have to deal with it and get on. I've been over to see Caroline, and we've had a good chat, and business as usual, really.
Everybody gets stressed and strung out, and actually, you know, I could have been perhaps a bit more sympathetic, and you just have to put it to one side, you know, because there's a war on.
As the dust settles, everyone is back to work. Simon has reopened his forge to mend customers' salvage and is making good on his claim that blacksmiths were the first recyclers.
The amount of tools that I've got to sharpen, to refurbish, to resurrect from the dead is unbelievable. The tine's broken off. I've got a cut nail here, which is actually carbon steel. And if I can try and fire weld that on there, I can repair this and get it back to working order.
Oh, that's nice.
Just the material. I think that's right.
At the dressmakers, the people of Shepton Mallet are discovering the joys of make, do and mend.
Okay, it's done. One little night dress. Made out of balance sheet.
With the help of Jill, customers are seeing new possibilities in their old clothes.
Although it's too big for me now, what I thought was, if I had it cut off where the pockets go to, do you see what I mean? So slightly shorter, and then, can you see at the back, if it could be more of a fitted shape?
At the grocer's, it's business as usual.
It's my little black book, madame. It's a black market.
But the Chamber of Commerce are back. They've been talking to some of the Surgesons' customers, and Juliet is appalled.
I'm not pleased about what I've heard about Carl and Debbie and the family. The problem is Carl's an entrepreneur, and what was applauded in peacetime, you know, making a decent living, you know, pulling a few tricks here and there. In wartime, it's frowned on. It undermines society, it undermines the war effort, and what's more, it's criminal activity.
Hello, Juliet.
Hello, Carl, Debbie. Right, Carl and Debbie, I've been talking to some of your customers, and quite honestly, you haven't been playing the game. I am shocked. The reason rationing was introduced, it was about fair shares for everybody. They didn't want it so that just those who could afford it could have more. Everybody had to feel that the sacrifice was being equally borne. And to be honest, I'm horrified to say, I think you're abusing it. What have you got to say?
Well, yes, we have been running a little bit of a black market. I must admit, we have. I've always favoured others more than others. I mean, if people have got the money, then we've let them have the black market products.
That's looking after number one. That's not looking after the community.
I understand that, yeah. In retrospect, I suppose you're right, yeah. But you say it's a salesman in me, I can't help it.
It's serious, this, and I'm going to have to make you realise how serious it was. Now, this is a criminal activity, and I have to tell you the government came down very heavily. What I am going to recommend is a fine. That fine is going to be £100. That translates into today's money nearly £4,500. Now, I hope that will bring it home to you just what you're doing in wartime.
OK.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
So we have nothing to...
It doesn't matter though, Saffron. It's not about making money, is it?
It does, sort of.
Thing is, we haven't taken any money this week now.
Doesn't matter, doesn't matter. We'll be in debt for the next few years. I really don't care, honestly. I was looking after my family and I'm really strong about that. My family is very important and they come first. And then if there's anything left for the rest of the country, then I'm sure there would be. I'm only a small family, then it's fine. So I've got no conscience of that whatsoever, honestly.
While Carl is unrepentant, it's left to the bakers to try and instil the wartime spirit in Shepton Mallet.
That's the Jack, they've got to cook for an hour and a half. If they're too small, they'll just disintegrate.
It's round 2 of the British restaurant. They've got 15 people coming for lunch and 2 hours to prepare 2 wartime classics, rabbit stew and braised sheep's tongue.
They smell terrible, actually. And also, I've looked at what the instructions are, and it says by the time that when they're cooked, you have to start taking out all the bones and skin them. There's not going to be anything left.
Look at that. I think I've never even done any sort of thing like this before, and I know somehow what I'm doing.
For dessert, it's eggless date and raisin pudding.
It's very stodgy. I think it was an era of stodge. And I think we've pulled it together. That's down to the children as well, because they straight away know what's expected of them. They got the veg going, and we're there. Jack's made the dumplings. So it's absolutely brilliant.
To be honest with you, and we don't want the children knowing this because actually, you know, they'll only demand more from us. But actually, we're really, really pleased with the way the kids muck in. Hopefully what you've seen today is a family working together.
Bakers think they've cracked it, but it's the diners who will decide whether the meal's a success.
Right.
These local pensioners actually lived through World War II, and they'll know the genuine article.
Go and put that milk out on that table. Actually, no. Yes, on that table, and then... No, actually, wait.
What about Henry? Yeah. Yeah, well, he's dead.
Table 1.
That's table 1?
Yes.
For the rabbit stew, but we don't have any butter.
Oh, all right, yeah, thank you. We've got bread, but no butter, because there's a war on.
2 rabbit stews. Okay.
See this well-oiled machine here?
The rabbit stew.
And we used to get rabbit during the war, and it was a treat if you managed to get a rabbit.
I wouldn't like to tell you what we had in the war. Half of it went in the swill bin.
It was very nice, yes, yeah. And lots of nice cabbage as well, yeah.
I appreciated having that because I haven't had tongue cooked like that probably since then, actually.
Thank you.
We've had an absolutely lovely meal. It put me back to my childhood.
Thanks so much.
When I was about 10 or 11, and it tasted exactly the same. It was gorgeous.
And you thought it was very authentic?
Yes, oh yes. The whole thing has been authentic. I felt anyway, having lived through it, that I'm reliving it again now.
It was lovely because I met up with a school friend that I hadn't seen for over 70 years. Really nice.
What is now growing in here is the sense of community in Shepton. People are sitting, it is. People are spending longer in here than they need to. There's no urgency to go, even if they're just buying a loaf of bread. They're staying in and other people are coming in and chatting. And I just think it's lovely.
Caroline is seeing the upside of the war. But after days of rationing, Shepton Mallet is finding it tough.
Tired, hungry, totally stressed out. Been waiting for 1 hour 45 minutes just on a queue. It's pretty painful.
I've actually found it rather anxiety-provoking. Queuing up, waiting to get into a shop where you're hoping there's going to be some food.
Do you have any rice? No, I would really like rice, actually. Me too.
Is there anything else you have around the back that I might be able to...
Just what you see on the shelves is everything we've got.
Flour.
If there's anything I can buy without a ration book.
There is rabbits.
Anything else?
Rabbit?
Rabbit, is that it?
My problem is that I've used up all my rations.
Well, I'm trying to feed 4, but it's a bit hard.
Customers queuing up and we've got now to sell them.
There's nothing to sell.
So you can't give me anything today?
I'm sorry, but we live in constrained times.
I feel like I could take this all home and in one go have a good meal and starve for the rest of the week.
I was hoping you could actually
just extend my ration. I honestly couldn't get anything anywhere else. I'm going to starve.
With the customers feeling the pinch, the high street is about to experience even more upheaval.
Hi, Tom. I come bearing news. Clearly, Andrew, it's very likely that a man with your skills would be called to offer your services to the catering corps. We would like you to leave the high street.
Jolly good. In World War II, men from 18 to 41 were conscripted into the services, which means Grocer's son, Harry, is being sent off too. Carl is joining him to give Debbie an authentic taste of what it was like to lose the men for a second time in a generation.
She'll step up to the mantle, she always does, she's brilliant at it, but she does miss me, she does love me, and vice versa, I miss her and love her. So it's going to be quite sad, really.
I always cope on my own, that's what I do, but it's not the point. I don't want to cope on my own. I want Carl to be here and Harry. This adventure's not really turning out as an adventure in this era.
Bakers were initially a protected trade, so Nigel is staying put. While Debbie may miss Carl, for butcher's boy Michael, it's an opportunity to run the Sharp empire.
Dad's gone to war. I'm not too bothered about that because I get to run the Sharp, which would be really great.
But the Chamber of Commerce has a surprise for Michael. Her name is Anne Davidson, a lady butcher from Scotland.
He might be a bit upset because he's never worked with a lady before, and he's always worked with his dad, so he'll be a bit upset because he's not in charge. Hello,
Hello.
I'm Anne. You must be Michael.
I am.
Yes, I'm the new manager of the shop. I knew your dad's away to war.
You're going to be manager?
Yes.
Right. So that kind of means you're a boss, doesn't it?
Yes.
I can't have that. My shop, and I'm afraid I'm going to have to run it.
Oh well. I'm sorry, Michael. You'll just have to put up with me. You're only 14, Michael. You can't do a shop on your own. OK, Michael, I'll go and get my coat on, and then we'll get some customers in and start selling.
All right, all right. Oh, I'm not going to be able to take orders from the Scotch.
With the men at war, women took over men's jobs, not just in factories and munitions plants, but in shops too.
It'd save the ministry lots of money just to send her somewhere else.
Even now, a lady butcher can cause quite a stir.
I don't mean to be rude, but
yes,
I'm not used to seeing a lady in the butchers.
Have you qualified? Have you trained as a butcher?
Yes, I've qualified.
It's come as a surprise to me to see a female butcher. Not that I'm sexist or anything, you know.
They look at you and you think, I can't butcher. Or look at you. You've got to prove yourself. Right, Michael, will you put this away from me, please? You've got the note of the price, Michael? I need to get tidied up now for more customers coming in. He doesn't like me, he's staring and he doesn't like me. Because he thought he was in charge, you see. Got a bit of paper, Michael, please?
Don't like being told what to do at all. No, 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 no. That's just not going to happen very smoothly.
It's not just Michael who is feeling down. Everyone on the high street is finding wartime grueling.
I never realised they worked just so hard for nothing.
It's been a really tiring day. I was up at 6 this morning. We're still on the rations. Breakfasts aren't very decent. Lunches are not very decent. We've run out of milk, so we're down to black tea.
Usually if I want something I can have it, and now if I want something I can't. So it's a bit, you know.
It's vital that they keep their spirits up. So the Chamber of Commerce have organised a dance to boost morale. And Jill the dressmaker wants to look her best.
It's so I look like I'm wearing stockings. Look, it works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Compared to how white my legs were before, it does work.
In wartime, beauty had to be improvised.
Don't do it wonky.
Make-do creativity was key.
That feels straight. To be honest, the seams aren't too bad.
A used match could become an eyebrow pencil. beetroot lipstick.
Hear my love call to find me a man who could swing.
Britain had nearly 6 years of stress and monotony in wartime. That's why dances became so popular as an escape.
Amazing, those don't they? Yeah, absolutely. They really look amazing.
Do you like the stance? I'd love to.
Great. Oh, do you know what? Happy to do the chicken head, that was the thing.
With a stranger, no less.
Yeah.
To actually let your hair down like this and laugh. Because actually, there have been times we've cried rather than laughed, and we've actually just been, you know, just so happy.
Oh, chin chin, oh God.
And relaxed tonight. It's been fab. Really fab.
Yeah, it's been really amazing. If we had more nights like this, you would have happy people working in the shops every day, wouldn't we?
Don't push it now, come on.
It's a real shame that something terrible like a war has to happen to bring people together and to bring out, you know, the community spirit. It's a shame that we can't remember those bad times and keep that good community spirit when things are better.
Go on then, Chloe, open the box.
The next morning, and it's an early start. Except for Michael, the butcher's boy, who seems to have forgotten his duties.
Your shop open today, Michael?
I don't know. Morning.
A bit late this morning.
Aye. No alarm clock, you see.
Oh well, you need to get that sorted then, won't you? This won't do coming in at this time in the morning to run a business.
Doesn't matter really on this day because Shipton Mallet is dead as a doornail.
That's not breast, Michael. That's flank.
Oh, well, it looked like breast.
No, that's flank, Michael.
Just shows you how much I don't know. Well, it'll make a stew anyway.
Well, you're only 14, so you'll not know everything about meat now. He's too cocky. Thinks he knows everything. He didn't even know that was a flank.
At the dressmakers, customers are picking up their refashioned clothes.
Your coat has been remodelled and shortened. Do you want to try it on?
Yeah, let's try it on.
I hope you like it. I also noticed the lining was a bit ripped, so I repaired that for you as well, just under the arm. Shown them that make, do and mend can be achieved and can be really fun, and you can end up with some really kind of cool stuff from nothing.
Oh, I'm really pleased with that. I see I'll get so much more. Oh, doesn't it look nice at the back?
On you.
Downstairs, Simon is doing his bit.
Right, this is very sharp now.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
So I've actually put a real sharp edge on it.
You have.
Being part of this experiment is really a fantastic opportunity for me to demonstrate my skills and how people like me, colleagues in the business, this sort of business, can be useful to people in the present day.
Oh my God!
So you've got a workable fork again.
Brilliant. So I can dig my potatoes up with ease now.
The war is drawing to an end on the high street, which means the men will soon return and reclaim their jobs. For Michael, that's a relief.
I'm ordered to go back home now, Michael. Thank you very much.
Right, thanks a lot. See ya. Thanks for your work.
Thank you, Michael.
See ya.
Bye.
I'm not going to miss her.
14,
At the grocer's, Debbie's doing her final accounts.
22, 51, 60, 65, 72, I haven't done anything. 75, 195. I've done all the totting up of everything. And do you know what? For the fact that we only took £31 worth of under-counter goods, I really think, was it worth it in the long run, you know? We've got a massive fine, and I am gutted, really.
How did you go off? Well, we won.
Oh!
Oh, I missed you both.
I missed you too. 2 bloody nights. Good believe it.
VE Day saw the biggest street party Britain had ever witnessed. Today, just as they did in 1945, the people of Shepton Mallet are bringing dishes made from their rations to share with the shopkeepers.
Oh, I say, what have we got here?
Oh, lovely.
Oh, look at these.
I used up all my rations of jam.
Oh, Charles.
Cheers, darling. Give us a kiss.
Well, good morning, Mandy. How are you?
Happy VE Day. Happy VE Day. I've got some bread pudding.
Oh, fantastic.
Hello. And nice to see you back.
You look very dressed up.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back. Thank you. Thank you very much.
What you got? Oh, this is lovely.
Food.
I'm all ready for VE Day. Oh, we really must enjoy this.
The Chamber of Commerce are back to find out what the customers made of their wartime experience.
Is there anything about this wartime Britain High Street that you would like your kids to inherit?
One thing that came out of the war, which was, we're all in this together, let's not be greedy, let's all help each other.
You managed a week. Would you like to manage 2 months or a year?
It wouldn't be much fun, but we could do it.
Got used to putting less butter on things, but we got used to it.
As I stood there in the queue, I realised that we customers had never met each other before, and I was talking to people who lived in Shepton that I'd never met, well, never spoken to before, and it was all sort of bringing us together.
People went without, yet are still talking about what a wonderful community spirit it was. Now, OK, to build a community spirit, at the same time as you're hungry, I mean, how powerful was the feeling here?
I think that's right. I mean, and the people were talking about queuing, and imagine queuing, you know, you might queue for several hours and still not got what you wanted after that. But people talked about getting to know people in the queues. They talked about wanting to come back into Shepton Mallet. They found it a more sociable place, and they felt they've got to know each other in a way that they hadn't before.
Well, the grocers have caused controversy this week. I mean, they can't help it. They're natural salespeople. They want to make a profit, and I take my hat off to them there, but they really didn't understand, A, the era they were in and how tough it was, and B, what people would have thought of them. If there was plenty of black market trading going on, would you feel left out that you hadn't?
Good heavens, no. I'd be appalled.
I'd have shocked anybody if I'd known about it.
You would?
Without hesitation, even if I knew them. Because otherwise, if you go on like that, the whole system will just fall apart.
Siobhan actually said that she bought some stuff on the black market. I was totally affronted. I thought, why wasn't I offered it? Because I had money, I could have bought that stuff.
The High Street really did come together as a community, and they were all going without. To then suddenly find out that they had sacrificed while others were cheating has caused a fair bit of anger.
He was profiteering. He was selling goods off the rations to turn a quick buck, and he did it in wartime, and that's not on.
The bakers have had a fantastic week.
Yeah, this has really been their era.
I think they've been exemplary.
I think they are just really terrific people who actually share and care, and that's exactly what you would have needed in this era. I don't think they've had to try that hard. I think that's them.
Enjoy.
Wow, thank you, sir.
Not a problem. Good man.
You just can't fault these people. They've really taken, you know, they've taken us to their hearts, and I actually feel the same about them. We are just a complete community now, and it just means so much.
I don't know what we're going to do when these shopkeepers go back. It's brought this place, this town, alive.
Jill's a lovely girl. What do you make of the dressmaker?
She's made the most fantastic contribution, I think, to the war effort. She's trying to show the people of Shepton Mallet that they don't have to buy anything, that they've got a lot of stuff in their wardrobes that they can make over and make nice.
Simon, you know, has really enjoyed this era because he's found himself very useful in the community, and that's what he wanted to be right from the start.
He's shown people that there is another way. You don't just have to buy cheap things and obsolescent. You can actually buy something and have it repaired and keep it going and make do and mend. They've shown people that, you know, things don't have to be disposable. There is an afterlife for them.
But Simon's days on the High Street are drawing to an end. After the war, as Britain increasingly embraced mass-produced, disposable goods, demand for blacksmiths disappeared.
I'll miss this forge absolutely immensely. This to me, this is me. This is what I do. This is my environment and it's fantastic, absolutely fantastic, and I will miss it really, really with a sad and heavy heart.
It's time for Simon to say goodbye to the High Street, and he's made them a farewell gift.
So I've taken all sorts of bits and pieces to produce a frame from the scrap that the townspeople of Shepton Mallet gave me this week. We were the world's first recyclers and we're bloody good at it. So this is my present to the town.
Excellent. Pass it, it's quite heavy. Pass it on. Very heavy.
Yay! Can we go? Can we go? It's a long way to go.
It's sad to see my craft disappear from the high street, but at the same time, I'm hoping that by doing this project, I'm going to give it a new lease of life.
Others aren't so sad to see the back of the war.
I didn't like World War II mainly because we had nothing to sell. That's what I'm all about. That's my life. That's what I do. I'm a showman. I sell food. I sell products. And I had absolutely sweet Fanny Adams to sell.
For everybody that has entered into the spirit of it, it's made the community and the shopkeepers just so much closer. I mean, we are a real team now, all of us.
What an absolutely amazing week. Devlins, your commitment to this high street has been unbelievable. That, I think, is probably the spirit that actually did get Britain through really tough times. Well done. Grocers. Oh, the controversy. Bad boys and girls. Not the spirit that got us through the Blitz at all.
Got caught, we've been done, and that's life. But we'll carry on, the business will keep going, and watch this space.
One typical British town. Its high street was once its heart and soul. Not anymore. But what if we could turn back time? To the days of the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker. A group of shopkeepers and their families have left the 21st century behind.
You are going to discover what the high street was really like.
Your aim is to make this town fall in love with its high street again.
Today's mantra is sell, sell, sell.
Each week they're living and trading through a different era.
Can't get any more left.
From Victorian to Edwardian.
Rabbits, pheasants.
Through peacetime and wartime. The swinging 60s to the shocking 70s. 100 years of high street history.
It's absolutely magical.
Can they sell the products of the past to 21st century customers?
Oh, the poor creatures.
I'd be frightened to give this to the birds.
Pin, pin. And can they make a profit while they're at it?
This is unbelievably hard. I don't know how these poor buggers did this in the old days.
If I'm really being honest, I hate it.
Tonight, the shopkeepers enter the swinging 60s, where it's all change.
So I'm not a dressmaker anymore.
What have you done? Where's my butcher gone?
Why are we not bakers?
Competition hits the high street.
The general store doesn't stand a chance. They haven't got the faintest chance of getting anywhere near us.
Surgesons have got an advantage over us, so we're going to take that advantage away.
The battle lines are drawn. Now we just have to commence battle.
And history puts some out of business.
All of the old ways of thinking and working have gone forever.
But what will customers think?
You are changing the whole community here and taking the whole heart out of it. I hope you can sleep at night, that's all I can say.
For the Somerset town of Shepton Mallet, World War II has ended.
The shelves are just bare. It's like walking into a closed shop.
You're allowed one egg each.
Dear, what are we going to do?
Now the shopkeepers are travelling forward in time to the early 1960s High Street, where every shop has been totally transformed. In 1960s Britain, the economy was booming. Self-service and mass production meant cheaper food and more choice. Britain had never had it so good.
There's going to be a drastic change from the bleak rations of the Second World War. Should have a lot more fun this era.
The 60s is all about the fashion, all about being brave with what you're wearing and making a statement.
Well, the 60s were a time of plenty, wasn't it? Youth, music and everything else, yeah. We're looking forward to it.
Making sure that they stick to the rules of the era is the Chamber of Commerce. Fifth-generation baker Tom Herbert, social historian Juliet Gardner, and successful greengrocer Greg Wallace.
Welcome, everybody, to the 1960s, and I bet you're really pleased to leave the austerity of wartime behind. Well, so was the whole of Great Britain.
The 1960s were a remarkable era of transition. The British public embraced self-service shops. But not everyone was happy with it. So the challenge for you is going to be to find out what your customers really want and be able to respond to that.
You have to concentrate on a new consumer, the teenager. And your challenge really is to see whether you can tempt modern teenagers back to the high street. And shops stopped being complementary to each other. Competition really kicked in. You are going to experience what small traders went through in a bid to just stay in business. Please go and see your shops, and good luck.
Last time, bakers the Devlins were feeding the town from a wartime restaurant. But their shop has totally transformed.
Milk bar.
We're a milk bar.
Oh, that's what we want.
The Milk Bar sold a new American dream to Britain's youth in the form of milkshakes, burgers and frothy coffees, all to a 60s soundtrack.
We can see some major diversification going on in the bakers. They're now a milk bar.
We were expecting a surprise, but we weren't expecting that sort of surprise. That is huge.
Of course, their challenge is to tempt modern teens in, and I think with their young lads they've got a chance of doing that. They might even make some money this era.
If we were out of our comfort zone during the last period, we're way, way outside our comfort zone now.
The 60s teenagers really love these milk bars. If you can bring that experience to the teenagers of today, they're just going to make a killing.
Milkshakes, music, that's a winner. That's a winner.
Butcher Andrew Sharp and son Michael also have a surprise in store. During the 60s, tens of thousands of butchers lost their jobs as butchery moved out of shops and into processing plants. But there was a way to stay in business.
General store? You've got a general store? You having a laugh?
The general store amalgamated hardware and food.
I don't think Andrew's going to be very happy. I mean, he's a real skilled butcher and all of his meat's taken away.
Oh, shovels, tea strainers, wallpaper. Is there anything we don't sell?
Meat.
We've got to sell meat, we're bloody butchers.
He's still going to serve the needs of the high street, I think.
Let me get this right. So what you're saying is people have loved the butcher, but now they're going to go in and buy a watering can. I can't see how an absolute expert in slaughtered beasts can all of a sudden become an expert on shovels.
To be honest, I don't have a clue about any of this stuff.
This is certainly not what I'm about, that's for sure.
Across the square...
Wow. Supermarket. Look at the colours.
The Surgeson's family grocer has become partly self-service. But what will Carl's customers make of it? They've enjoyed one-to-one personal service since the 1870s.
And if you'd like to take a seat, we'll get it plated for you and have it organised. Thanks, thank you very much.
Would it be a loss for this high street not to have the Surgesons so at the front of it? I mean, they've really been out on the high street pulling people in, and now they're going to be very much in the background. Do you think people will miss that?
I think it's going to divide people. Some people are going to really like the convenience, and other people are going to miss the personal service. It'd be very interesting to see how it plays out.
Well, we're just going to make an absolute killing, aren't we, babe?
The shop is bigger, with a wide range of pre-packed convenience foods.
We're going to have bread, we're going to have fruit and veg. So I reckon we're going to clean up, quite happily.
But the biggest change of all on the high street awaits dressmaker Jill.
That's a hairdressing salon. my dressmakers is gone.
Until now, Jill has sewed her way through 3 eras, from Edwardian to the 1940s. But during the 1960s, cheap, off-the-peg clothing meant that bespoke was out of fashion.
Completely, absolutely shocked.
So Jill will have to adapt to survive. And in the 60s, the hair and beauty industry was booming.
One of the reasons why hairdressing became so important was because fewer and fewer women were wearing hats. I mean, after all, if you think in the 50s, women never went out hardly without a hat. Well, of course, by the 60s, young women weren't wearing hats at all, so of course hair became really important.
There are scissors here, which worries me. I really don't think I should be cutting anybody's hair.
Jill's not actually a hairdresser. She now owns a beauty salon and hairdresser, so it's that completely out of her comfort zone.
I feel very daunted by it, to be honest. I don't want to upset anybody. I know what girls are like about their hair. There's going to be a very steep learning curve involved in this era.
But she doesn't need to worry for long. The Chamber of Commerce have sent Jill her first employee.
Hi, are you Jill?
Yes, hello.
Hi, I'm Naomi.
Hi.
I'm a hairdresser. I'm here to help you this week.
I so need some help. Oh, can you cut hair?
Yes.
Oh, hallelujah.
The shopkeepers have all been given manuals by the Chamber of Commerce, instructing them on how to run their 1960s businesses.
The way you display your goods will be crucial. They are silent salesmen, and they will need to sell themselves to your customers.
The first task for the Surgisons is to decide how to display their stock.
Have gaps in between them, Debbie. You're never going to fill all your shelves, you know. There's no wells. Otherwise, you're going to have one shelf full of food and everything else empty.
The advent of self-service meant customers interacted with the product, not the shopkeeper. Strategies to encourage customers to part with their cash quickly developed. Eye-level shelving was for the best sellers. In 60s speak, that's the A-line.
The main row, the main A-line is cereal.
Yeah.
All right, so are you happy like that?
No, we're just saying, I reckon that should go up a whole lot, liar.
I-line is A-line, and that's my I-line.
Yeah, but it's not an A-line product.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
This is meant to be our most important shelf, and the whole thing is just cereal.
So why did you tell me once I've actually put the whole shelf on? He tells me once I've filled the whole shelf with bloody cereal. Stupid ass.
Do you reckon the Surgisons will have bread?
Definitely.
For the first time on the high street, there is direct competition, as the grocers and the general store sell many identical items.
This will look a million times better than Mr. Sharp's because he's old hat. He is old-fashioned. So, no, we look clean, shiny and pristine. He looks dour and old.
The Sharps are attempting an eye-catching display of their own.
No, but having that across there like that would look awesome.
Right, what can we do about signage? Because neither of us can write. You could say something like, fly in here for the best service in town. Personal service, no, that's a bit crap, that. Right, we'll think about signage later.
We could empty this rubbish stuff out of this basket and we could have, like, say, some jams in it or...
No. Let's have a...
Or have a basket of eggs.
You're going to break them. Let's do things that we're not going to damage and lose money on. Right. OK, go and get that jam from round there.
Yes, sir.
And hurry up about it.
They haven't exactly got the competition running scared.
Have you seen their window display? It's absolutely crap.
Yeah, that's all right.
With the butcher and the grocer now selling bread, the bakers are taking delivery of milk.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hello.
In past eras, they've provided the town with handmade bread. Specialist machinery and a plethora of chemical improvers meant that bread could be made in a factory in just 4 hours, as opposed to 12 hours in a traditional baker's, putting 20,000 bakery staff out of work during the 60s.
Why are we not bakers?
We're just a victim of change.
Don't you feel like you sold your soul?
Well, of course, any expertise that you've had previously and any need that the community have had for you has now gone. We can try and adapt as we're trying to do here, but the reality is we're at the vagaries of the marketplace. wherever people's choices are, we have to keep abreast of that or go under.
No more bread.
No more bread, but we've got an alternative at the moment.
At the moment.
Yeah.
The Sharps are getting a delivery too.
At least it's meat.
Yeah, it's crap. It don't go in there.
It does.
It doesn't. So take at least one of the doors off anyway.
It looks like he's got some chilled meat now. That's not the sort of meat he likes to sell. It's pre-packed crap. So he won't have the same heart and love. Well, he might try and lie, but deep down I know he won't like selling it. Whereas, I'll sell anything for a buck.
Right, go on.
During their time on the high street, Andrew and son Michael have sold the town a giant Victorian pig, Edwardian game, and wartime mutton. But his 1960s stock is pre-prepped and already packed, which means the grocer can sell it too.
This is the natural progression from being a butcher's to actually being a corner shop. It's commercial bacon, not dry cured by us. The ham, again, is cooked in a big factory. So it's the start of the wonderful world of Pink Goo. Welcome, one and all.
Over the eras, the shopkeepers have built relationships with a group of customers who have pledged to shop only on the historic high street. They've shopped through 90 years of history, but for the first time, they face a dilemma.
We seem to have some competition, and although I get on with both shopkeepers, it will be interesting as to where I decide to shop, actually.
I'm wondering how that's going to work out, so I'm looking forward to going in there and trying to get the lowest price I can get.
It's difficult because I've built up a friendship with both shops, so I don't know. I think it would have to be down to economics, really.
But in the early 60s, it was manufacturers rather than shopkeepers who set the prices of goods. Known as resale price maintenance, it meant prices didn't vary much from shop to shop. So customers will have to make their choices based on something other than price.
Hello. Morning. How are you? Yeah, good, thank you.
The Surgesons are offering a radical new way of shopping.
I also got a leaflet of how to do self-service shopping. Everything's all priced.
For a nation that had suffered the stranglehold shopkeepers had on customer choice during the war, self-service was a breath of fresh air.
It's nice to be able to pick stuff up and, you know, look at the back of a packet and put it back in your basket and take it out again. Yeah, great.
But some found it baffling.
Dear, dear. So I go and collect my own stuff now, do I?
Yeah, so I've got a flyer telling you how to do your own service.
I really don't know how I'm going to cope. So I'm sure my grocer boy will help me. But it is really sad, isn't it? There's no relationship whatsoever, is there?
And this town has got used to good old-fashioned service.
Does that mean I have to take my shopping with me?
It does, yes. There's no delivery service anymore.
Delivery service?
No, and no accounts anymore.
And no accounts either. A bit of a shame about not having the delivery anymore. And the kind of personal service that I had a few decades ago is missing as well now. So.
Person across the road do delivery?
I believe he does, yes.
Oh, that might put a different light on it.
It might do, yes.
We might nip across to your colleague over the road and see what he might offer it.
Yeah, he might not have all the wider range as we've got, but I'm sure he'll be able to help you.
OK. Despite the Surgesons' confidence about their new-look store, it seems many customers don't want to move with the times.
We don't do deliveries, and that is a downside at the moment, I feel.
Morning, ladies. Would you like to come in?
Oh, good morning. How are you this morning?
You're as welcome here, girls, as you are at home.
That's nice of you to say that.
Andrew and Michael are keen to highlight the services they have on offer.
We've got a van we can deliver. Delivery's free, as long as you pay us.
Nothing on tick.
And unlike the
no, you can have tick.
Oh,
you can have tick here.
Unlike the Surgesons, you can have credit.
We've got the Green Shield stamps as well.
Ah, yeah. 2 stamps for a shilling.
Green Shield stamps were the 1960s version of the loyalty card.
At the end of the week, the customer with the most stamps gets to pick a prize from the cabinet.
Do I have to join anything?
No, you just have that book and that book's money.
Oh, yes, please, I'll have a book.
So if you buy lots off us, you get a prize.
Well, what can I start with? Oh, some marmalade. Could I have a jar of marmalade, please?
There's a nice atmosphere. You still feel like it's kind of that family-owned. They're behind the counter together and they're giving you that service. It's a nice service to have.
In the grocery shop, they're lovely, but I prefer Mr. Sharp and his son. They're so helpful, they're cheerful, they're happy, and that goes a long way with a customer.
At the Devlin shop, customers who've bought their bread since the 1870s are coming to terms with the loss of the high street bakers.
What happened to the bakery? I came in to get some bread.
If you go to the grocers, what you'll find is they're stocking what I think 70-odd% of the people were eating, which is the white sliced mass-produced loaf.
There's another service bites the dust.
They've actually stopped making bread. So now I'm stuck with 2 shops with white bread. It looks pretty tasteless, actually. So I'm going to miss that.
The core customers are genuinely wanting bread. And the business that actually was so essential in previous eras and people had come to rely on has gone. And it's the start of the slippery slope.
While some are lamenting the passing of old trades, Jill's having to get to grips with a whole new one. Before she starts trading, the Chamber of Commerce have sent her and Naomi to a specialist 60s hair salon in London for expert tuition.
I'm going to show you today how to recreate 3 fabulous styles. I'm going to have the flip, the bouffant, and the beehive.
Fantastic.
Let's go. Now we're going to do the flip. In the 1960s, what was important was the volume on the top of the hair. That's great. A hairstyle like the flip became very popular because of the singer Lulu in the early 60s. Just brush it around your hand, yeah. That's good.
Okay.
Very nice.
Oh, that's looking great. It's so recognisable, isn't it? Such an iconic style.
Next up for Jill and Naomi, it's a 60s staple, the bouffant.
That is some quiff.
People were inspired by singers or actresses, so the bouffant, like we're creating here, is very Brigitte Bardot.
Fantastic.
So now we're going to do the beehive. This is the most iconic hairstyle of the 1960s. So we're going to backcomb all of this. It has to be quite big. In the 60s, it was all about the bigger the better.
Still is, darling.
Take all the hair together and really twist it. Voila, and that is the beehive.
Oh, it looks fantastic. Having all the professional tips and just little tricks of the trade that we've learnt today has made me feel an awful lot more confident that I can sort of carry this off tomorrow when we've got real customers coming into the salon.
Back in Shepton, the Devlins seem busy enough, even if they're not making bread.
Your chips are just being cooked, they shouldn't be too long at all.
My wife's sandwich is a little bit burnt, I think.
Have to see the head chef about that, I'm afraid.
1 vanilla.
Milkshake, is that right? Oh, you've had one?
We just spent 20 minutes doing 2 orders that didn't exist.
You didn't tell me which table it was. You didn't write down which table it was.
Shut up.
No,
For the
it's
last
hard.
time.
Jesus Christ. I'm helping Mum.
No, well, don't.
Shut up now before I go mad.
Not me.
I think they've gone to Brazil to get our coffee.
It's what's commonly known in the trade as a baptism of fire.
Despite the teething problems, the customers seem to be liking it.
We used to come into milk bars like this and have a really good time. It's absolutely marvellous. I'm really enjoying it.
But this lot are 40 years too old. In the 60s, most teens were working and earning around £150 a week in today's money. 70% of that was disposable income. So it's no surprise the High Street provided them with somewhere to go. Today, it's a very different story.
There's never anything to do in Shepton.
Walk around. Just go to the park or like Tesco's, skate park.
People get drunk, but there's nothing else to do.
I just come down here about 1 and then stay here until 10.
By But the Milk Bar closes with its potential customers unaware that it's a place for them. It's the end of the first day of trading, and adapting to change continues above the shops.
Oh, that's horrible.
Oh my God, I've got a bar.
Oh, isn't that lovely? Wouldn't you just want that in your own living room?
What's happened on the high street has come as quite a shock to me. You can see the change more so now than any era we've done so far. And I think it already spells the end for some.
It's quite worrying. I feel quite nervous about this week. I am completely out of my comfort zone.
For Jill, it's time to put her skills into practice. In a world where a woman's place was still mainly in the home, salons were a good bet for those who wanted their own business. What modern customers will make of it remains to be seen.
And what hairstyle would you like today?
Sort of pixie, sort of fluffy cut.
Jill embraces management mode. While Naomi deals with cuts, she'll do styling.
Okay. Yep. What sort of thing were you after today?
A beehive.
A beehive. Fantastic.
So I'm going to look really glamorous going to work this afternoon then.
Are you going to work this afternoon with a beehive?
Yes.
Amazing. Oh, brilliant.
It seems that the nostalgia pull is working wonders for at least two of Shepton's ladies.
I'll show you the back, madam.
Oh, I wanted to keep like this forever. It's really nice. It's really good.
Well done.
I've been feeling down lately, and to go in there and have this done, it just lifted my spirits right up. I feel brilliant. It's changed me completely.
We've just made 10 quid in tips. We've only had 2 customers. That's amazing. Well done, girl.
For the next big thing.
The Milk Bar has attracted another set of customers who want to relive their youth, a group of mods. By 1960, national service had been abolished, and young men found new ways to forge allegiances by joining gangs.
Love it, absolutely love it. I'm just gobsmacked. It's really authentic, isn't it? It's fantastic. It's exactly as I remember it. And I love the hairstyle.
Do you really?
Yeah.
We were 17-year-old boys, that's our mum's look.
Except I think yours had a moustache, didn't it?
It's another reminder that the Milk Bar's customers have seen better days.
You're not allowed smoking now, are you? You used to be in the 60s. Get in there, you have no crash helmet, have a cigarette. Life was a little bit better, I think.
Over at the general store, they're doing a roaring trade, with Michael pulling out all the stops.
Are you looking for a prize out of our cabinet?
I am.
I think you might need to buy a little bit more for that.
You're trying your darndest to make me spend all my money in here, aren't you?
Well, if you want a prize, you've got to pay the price, you see.
Oh, I want the radio.
Well, if you buy lots off us, then you can have it.
I wish I'd known that before, because I've just done virtually a week's shopping in the other shop.
I think they do refunds.
And customers are making the most of their delivery service.
What's the charge for delivery?
It's free.
It's free.
Do you want that now and have everything's delivered, or do you want it all delivered together?
Delivery would be nice, as you do it for free.
Would you like it now or delivered?
I'll have that one delivered. Special present. Thank you so much.
Bye. Lovely. Bye.
At the grocer's, Carl's got a new idea to try and win over the customers.
Oh, wow, we got pasta!
I wonder if I could interest you in my new continental range.
Oh, right.
It's exciting, exotic. Some of these things you might have seen in the movies, you know. Pasta and olives and garlic and olive oil. I'll show you some cream, some bacon, some mushrooms, some shallots, some garlic, along with the pasta and a bit of cheese, and you can make your own sort of creamy mushroom sauce.
Is it quite expensive because it's all new stuff?
We're doing the whole deal for $6.50.
I think for old time's sake, I might take a bottle of the Chianti too.
Excellent.
Well, that's the bacon.
Though the grocer's new products have sparked some interest, the Sharp's traditional services still seem to be winning the day. But the Chamber of Commerce is in town, and they have news that will change the High Street forever.
You know, up to now, prices have been fixed. Shops have had no choice about what they charge for their goods. 1964, largely a result of pressure from the big supermarket owners, resale price maintenance was abolished.
This change in the law meant larger stores like Carl's could now set their own prices, as they had the space to bulk buy. It's good news for the Surgisons.
You could charge whatever you like for your goods. You could cut prices, and we're going to allow you to cut prices up to 20% across the range if you want to. How do you feel about that?
Over the moon, over the moon. I'm really chuffed about that. That gives me the edge straight away, and I can really push it out there and get the loud howler out and make sure the whole town knows. And obviously we can just crush the opposition now. They can't compete. They might have a few loyal customers that may be wealthy enough to pay higher prices, but in the long run, I think everybody will just see sense and go, cheap is better. Same product, 20% less. Can't go wrong.
Tom explains the impact to Andrew and Michael.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news to dish out to you, and that's in the middle of the era, the resale price maintenance was abolished, and that meant that self-service shops with their lower overheads could slash their prices, and that's what the Surgisons are going to do. And people like you with shops like this wouldn't have been able to afford to. You're going to have to keep them the same, if not put them up.
Them Surgisons, they get bloody everything. They get a conveyor belt, they get a telly in the flat, they get to drop the prices, get more produce, they get everything.
Carl wastes no time acting on the advantage that history has given him by advertising price cuts.
We've decided to discount the entire store 20%.
20%?
Yes.
How about your competitor across the road?
Unfortunately, poor Mr. Sharp is not in the same financial position as myself. He can't afford to do it.
Yeah. He's delivering some food to me this afternoon. I wonder if I can cancel.
Well, you possibly could. I could supply you with goods 20% cheaper.
I think the fact that there is a sale here is very important. This will make a big difference to the general store, which will find it much more difficult to keep going.
Yeah. If the general store can't compete with this Grocers, it will go. And as we know from experience, having lived here over 20 years, that's exactly what happened.
It gives competition a proper edge. Before, we were just different shops with different names selling the foods at the same price. Now, if you manage your products properly and sell them correctly, only you'll make a profit, but also you'll lure all the customers away from everybody else, especially the general store across the marketplace. So I think the battle lines are drawn. Now we just have to commence battle.
But Andrew and Michael aren't giving up without a fight, as in the 1960s, their customers are used to home deliveries.
You don't know where we're driving.
I know.
For small shops, running a free delivery service was an added expense. But in the face of competition, it was worth doing anything to keep customers on side. At the Milk Bar, the customers are getting even older.
We've got a lot of older people coming in, and that is absolutely great. I think where we need to be, however, is the older teenagers. And we need to get out there and attract the teenage group that we're meant to be catering for.
The Devlins' potential clientele are on their doorstep, but they aren't showing any interest in the Milk Bar. Nigel and the boys are on the hunt for teens, but they are as retro as their shop.
So how do you think we're going to do then, Dad?
Well, if you two don't get beaten up for being so square, I think we could do all right.
See, my plan is to, get the girls to follow us, and then the boys should follow the girls.
Yeah.
First stop is the nearby skate park, and Nigel takes it upon himself to lead the sales pitch.
We've recreated a 60s milk bar, but the only people that are coming in to see us are old people, like me. Actually, that's not what we want, because at the time, milk bars were all for teenagers. What we'd like you to do is come and see us. It'll be an experience for you. We've got a jukebox there. It's a nice place to hang out, we think. Even if you don't hang around, even if you just come in, have a look and have something to eat, that would be great.
Yeah.
All right?
Even Nigel's teens aren't particularly impressed with his patter.
Dad's use of words when addressing kids our age is, it's groovy.
He said the word hip, which let it down a little bit because his teenager language is a bit dated.
At the salon, however, everyone is happy to be stuck in the past.
Do you know, I am so thrilled with that. It just looks so amazing.
In the 1960s, such elaborate hairstyles necessitated a weekly trip to the salon. And customers are finding there's more to this shop than just retro hair.
Show you the rest of the bottle there.
There's a lovely girly atmosphere in here. Yeah.
Jill's providing the women of the town with a place to socialise.
It's been really, really fun. Loads of fun. Challenging, learning a new trade, but not as bad as I thought it would be. I think we've done all right. We've had loads of happy ladies walking around with their glamorous 60s hairstyles. So that's brilliant.
And they're not the only cuts going down well with the customers. Lower prices mean the Surgisons are cashing in.
I was quite surprised. I think it was less than £5, so I can put that in my piggy bank and save for a rainy day.
Even the general store's most loyal customers are being tempted.
My full weekly shopping, I think now she's swayed me. It'd have to be in here with the price cuts.
If you would have actually bought this at the general store, it probably would have cost you about £4.
I don't like to give up the general store altogether, but on the whole, I think I shall be going to the self-service store.
Have you been over to the general store yet?
No, it's closed, unfortunately, so I've not
Well,
been in.
hopefully you'll not go over there.
Well, they're closed, you're open, and I've got what I need, thank you.
We've probably done £100 from after lunch, and the general store's closed because they think they've got one up on us by offering this personal delivery service, but you know, they've lost out because they could be taking money and they're not, so we're raking it in. So, silly boy, Sharpie.
Not only are the Sharps losing money and customers to the Surgisons, but deliveries are looking doubtful, thanks to their 50-year-old delivery van.
We've got a bit of a technical difficulty. It's boiling its head off. Poor little thing. There'll be no deliveries tonight, that's for sure. Milk will be off. Some of the stuff will need throwing out. So not only do you pee off your customers, you throw product away, lose money, can't get the van repaired. Need I say more?
It's been a long, frustrating day for Andrew. But 60s life is treating his rivals just fine.
Chin chin.
Chin chin, God bless, and thanks wonderfully.
Andrew and Michael are waking up to the fact that their business is barely viable.
As you can see, the enthusiasm is absolutely unbounded.
They know they have to make amends for yesterday's failed deliveries.
Yeah, I'm just having to redo the stuff we had to throw away last night, which is great, isn't it? Not only did the van break down, but we all the produce went off as well, so we're having to replace it.
Not only have they lost money, but they're in danger of losing customers.
Master Pin.
We're sorry about the deliveries, but somebody killed the van.
We got halfway to the first customer, and then, bump.
Well, I've got no milk, I've got no bread, I've got all sorts that needs to...
Right, OK.
Marvellous.
Eggs. Toilet roll.
And a little bit of compensation. A few more green shield stamps to apologise for the breakdown.
That's all right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Say bye, bye, bye. Bye. I don't think we lost a customer there, to be honest.
No,
Seemed happy enough.
As happy as someone who's been let down could be, quite understanding.
The one selling point, which is the good personal service and the deliveries and whatnot, if they can't deliver on that, then there's just not a lot of point in going in there at all, really. I could have just picked it all up from the grocers and be done with it. And there we are.
Jack and Rafe are determined to remedy the lack of teenagers at the milk bar. This time, without their dad.
Hey guys, we're doing an offer up at the Milk Bar. We've got sort of milkshakes which are chocolate, strawberry, vanilla.
Wow. Alright then, thank you. Can we come up now?
Yeah. You come up now, yeah. Me and Rafe, took us 10 seconds and they're already up there. Loads of girls, put on the Devlin charm, straight up to the Milk Bar. Get in, result.
Right, I'll read the flavours. Vanilla, strawberry...
1 shilling, 1 dime.
I'm getting. So what can I get for you guys then?
Strawberry milkshake, please. Strawberry milkshake as well.
Devlin Charm and cut-price milkshakes have finally enticed the first group of teen customers into the Milk Bar. Nigel and Caroline finally have the clientele that their shop was designed for.
Teenagers need somewhere to go, somewhere to feel comfortable at, somewhere they can sit and talk and chat and listen to music. But unfortunately, nowadays, there seems to be less and less places for them to go.
What was quite interesting is once they found out that this actually wasn't for all the people that had been coming in at the beginning of the week. That was what was so amazing. I actually said to them, it's for you guys, and they were like, what? No, it's for you. And the minute they were told it was for them, they all came.
Awesome. Best milkshake ever. Amazing.
I think they serve one all the time. I think it should be there all the time, then they have my custom.
The only bad thing about this place is that it's just open for a week.
White saffron. Goodness gracious.
With the business doing so well, half-day closing means the Surgesons aren't just shutting up shop, they're taking a holiday.
Oh, wow, this is lovely.
Grocers is shut. The grocers are going on holiday.
This is amazing.
We're all going on a summer holiday. No more worries for a week or two.
Just like the upwardly mobile 1960s middle class, Carl's taking his family on the road. Britain wanted to explore the great outdoors, and the craze for caravanning and camper vans allowed for a spot of camping with all the home comforts. Not even a spot of rain dampens the Surgeson spirits.
If it didn't rain, it wouldn't be camping, would it? We can afford to have a break. It's because we've become the king of the high street now. We're on the up, and unfortunately, as sad as it may seem, the general store's on the way down. But that's business, that's life, and looks like the self-service grocer's going to win the day. There you go. Got to be happy about it. I'm the self-service grocer, so I've got to be happy about it.
But back in Shepton, Andrew isn't giving up yet.
Surgesons have got an advantage over us, so we're going to take that advantage away. We're going to beat them at their own game by taking our product to the customer. Convenience store on your doorstep.
Even by the late 60s, only half of Britain owned a car. And, as Andrew knows, they were notoriously unreliable. So customers still appreciated the door-to-door salesman.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Could we interest you in some various items? We have chocolate bars, 50 pence a bar. How about a mechanical tea strainer?
No, thanks.
Bakelite egg cups. And we have 4 candles, or 4 candles. Depends how much Somerset you speak. We have no heather and no curses. This is a brilliant scrubbing brush.
Brilliant. You won't find that anywhere else. A lovely salt and pepper pot. Nice and stylish.
How much is that going for?
How much is that going for?
They're a £5 for the pair.
A £5 for the pair.
See?
It's all right, don't worry.
I think they're £4.
That's dear.
But for you, because you're a special customer, they're £2.
That's £2 for that, please.
£2, OK.
£2.
Door-to-door selling may have provided a decent living in the 60s, but in 2010, it's a lot of effort for very little gain.
See ya.
Cheers. Well, that won't pay the diesel, will it? If we did this regularly, I think you could potentially make a bit of a living, but it wouldn't be very easy.
Right now, we've made about a tenner, just under a tenner, and that would barely pay for your petrol.
To add to their problems, they are having yet more car trouble.
Same crap, different day, I think that's called.
While Andrew's struggling, the Devlins' determination to engage Shepton's youth is paying off. Nigel and Caroline are pushing out all the stops to make them feel welcome.
I think for everything we hear about teenagers today, put them in the right situation and they can enjoy themselves and have a good time with everyone else.
Yeah. These kids are out there and they're good kids, really good kids.
For 90 years, the Devlins have been at the heart of this community. They may have lost their bakery, but they've succeeded in providing an essential service. For a short time at least, this town's teens have somewhere to go.
All along, throughout the project, our real concern has been that we're only switching on certain parts of Shepton Mallet. The fact is, this week has been a huge, huge satisfaction for us, hasn't it? In terms of seeing what we've just seen.
Tomorrow is the last day of 1960s trading, and while the Surgesons are celebrating,
To our camper van experience.
Yes.
Rock on the 6 days.
Andrew has had enough.
This is the worst way for a quality butcher to end up selling a bit of manky cooked meat and spam. Maybe if it's all you knew, it might not be so bad, but having had a successful butchery and then been dumped into this, it's soul destroying.
It's the shopkeeper's final day on the 60s High Street. It's been an era of huge change. Some shops have faltered and others have thrived. In just 1 week, Jill has gone from dressmaker to running a hairdresser, but she's yet to actually cut someone's hair.
I do feel less apprehensive now than I did to start with, but I'm still terrified that some poor soul's going to come along and expect miracles from me, and I am, after all, only a dressmaker.
But one of the locals who has used Jill as a dressmaker in past eras is about to show how far customer loyalty can go.
I've opted for a very drastic change. I'm going to have my hair cut quite short. Jill did such a good job with mending my coat. I think she'll do just as good a job with my hair.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You definitely want to do it?
Yeah, go on. The quicker the better, I'd say.
Oh my God. There's no going back now.
Well done.
And there's your hair.
Wow. There you go, that's the major bit done.
Cool.
One, two, three.
Oh my God. That's really good. Thank you very much. I've got to go and face my husband now. I really like it. It is really drastic, but Jill did really well to cut my hair.
It was scary, that was. For a first haircut to do something that severe. But I think she looked really fantastic, so success.
You did brilliantly, I'm so proud.
It's quite drastic, isn't it? What do you think?
Your hair's amazing.
What do you think, Magnus?
Look at Mummy.
Do you still love me looking like this?
Not everyone's impressed.
What about you, Jacob?
I hate it.
I think I'm a bit scared. I was scared it might be a bit too much for drastic change.
While dressmaker Jill has managed to adapt to the 1960s, the Sharps have decided to call it a day.
Let's go down fighting, lad. Let's get everything sold. We want to try and leave nothing at all.
Michael is laying the blame for the loss of his trade on the grocers.
Well, the deal is, we've been put out of business by the Surgesons, and we're gonna have to close, so we're just gonna have to flog everything cheap. Lovely placemats.
They're not lovely.
Frisbees for the kids.
Very useful.
Sold to the lady in the corner there.
Well, this butter dish we can throw in for £1.
Everything must go even us.
Everything must go, yeah, even us.
In the end, it's the lowest prices that determine where customers shop.
When the storm clouds come,
I see you're buying lots of stuff here now, Mr. Blake.
Yes, economics is, with 4 children, I have to look at money more than anything else.
Well, as you've seen today, the general store's closing down.
Yes, I know. I'm not surprised. I mean, ever since they stopped selling the fresh meat when they were a butcher shop, I've not been so inclined to go in there anyway. Because you've got everything over here and more, and it's cheaper. And I can just take it when I want it.
General store's closed down today.
It's very sad.
It is awfully sad.
It's good for business, is it, I suppose, people?
It's good for me, but it's not good for a general store.
It's a shame.
You'll change the whole community. Yes. You are changing the whole community here and taking the whole heart out of it. And now we have a dead high street. And why you've been able to have so many empty shops is because of this. I hope you can sleep at night, that's all I can say.
In the 21st century, Carl runs a small high street deli, so he's not unaffected by the Sharps' fate.
I mean, if it was the real 60s and I was a supermarket, I'd be over the moon. I've done what I set out to achieve, but personally, it's not right. But not only is I've made a good mate of him, but he's gone. It's a shame. Now I'm a bit upset. It is. It's very rare that I'm lost for words. But I am.
This town is about to lose another family of shopkeepers. Whilst the milk bar's been a hit, the Devlins' hearts just aren't in it anymore.
Pick them up, come on.
This is not what we do. This is fun, but this is not our life.
Our job is really done here. We're bread makers. That's what we do in life. That's what we like doing. And the real disappointment to us is moving away from an essential provision like bread to something that's much more superficial.
I loved your bread. I really did. And you worked so hard and I really appreciated it. Really. And it would be sad to see you go. I'm going to really will.
Oh, thank you, Michael. Oh, for all the happy hours we've had with you.
The best thing for me in the whole experience is the bond we've created with everybody. And a lot of people said they're going to miss us the most, which is really nice to hear. So leaving them behind and leaving Sheps and Mallet behind isn't going to be nice at all.
You were voted my favourite shop. Have one on me.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. I'm going to bust it.
The transition from Victorian to 2010 has been a sad journey that really we didn't necessarily need to take. And it really is a stark lesson and a realisation that we've lost such a lot.
We should always remember you, always.
It's really sad. I mean, it's been a wonderful experience. We really do need our butcher on the high street. Someone we know, someone we can trust, someone with whom we build up a relationship. Just having had that, it's been lovely, and it just teaches me, you know, it shows me what I'm missing.
Dad, when people can't afford to stay in business, we lose them. And I think it's only after we've lost them we realise what we've lost and then regret it.
Bye-bye, Caroline. Bye-bye. It has been a very, very emotional roller coaster for us. Now that we've lived it, I have a real sense of how it must have been for the people whose lives were turned upside down.
With emotions running high, the Chamber of Commerce have arrived to assess the impact the 1960s High Street has had on the town.
In this era, as the shopper, what have you gained and what have you lost?
I've gained more choice and more convenience, but I have lost, well, some people that I've really got to know and care about.
Now I'm realising how shopping has changed. Loyalty and feelings for people, you have to put them aside, and it's all what you can get for the least amount of money.
All the customers I talk to have already started to feel the loss of the social centre that's been their high street over these last few weeks. And everybody thinks it's the fault of the big business. Nobody blames themselves, even though we're watching them turn their backs on Andrew and Michael and go towards the convenience stores. Nobody is saying, I'm doing it, my mum did it, what can we do? Everybody's looking for a scapegoat other than themselves.
It's been a bit of a bitter-sweet week for the bakers, hasn't it? Because they've not been able to bring any of their skills to bear, but they've had their busiest week yet.
Jill probably had the biggest challenge because her skill is as dressmaker, and we asked her to run a hairdresser's and a beautician's.
Nothing could have prepared me for the fact that I was going to have a whole different career in a hairdressing salon. So, to be honest, if I came back and ended up being a car mechanic, I wouldn't be that surprised.
I never thought that Andrew and his boy Michael would be very happy in taking over sort of general store. But they made a pretty good fist of it, as well as anybody could.
Exactly, despite the range of stuff that Andrew and Michael were selling, in the end it was price and convenience, and that's what mattered to people more than the loyalty.
We gave the Surgisons a self-service store, and just like in all other areas, it seemed a fantastic opportunity to make as much profit as possible and crush the competition.
I think Cole's actually upset that the success of his self-service store has actually brought about the decline and the exit of Andrew and Michael, who he's made friends with. Well, it's the end of the 1960s. Andrew, Michael, and what we saw happen to your shop was exactly what was happening to the high street back then in the 1960s. For me, you are the epitome of what we need back in our high streets, back in our shopping experience.
It really has touched us. The depth of feeling that these customers have showed us is unbelievable.
If I had a hat on, would take it off to you and big bow of nothing but utmost respect.
Devlin's real success in your milk bar. But of course you're bakers, and it's not baking. And that's obvious that that's really where your heart is.
This era, like every other era, you've just worked your absolute socks off. And as a family unit, it's quite incredible.
Families are absolutely essential in any operation to do with the high street.
I now appreciate how hard my parents actually worked to make a living. We're all closer now as a family, even more tightly knit than we were before.
I think with you goes the community spirit. I think you've been the epitome of that spirit, and with you goes the heart of our high street. Really sad to see you go. Absolute pleasure to have met you.
The butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, we've all gone. We've disappeared. That must be catastrophic for the actual high street. It must be catastrophic for local people as well.
We've had lots of people come and saying, we must support our local shops now. And that's what this is about. It's got the locals of Shepton Mallet interested in their high street and in their local shops.
So taking part in this experiment has actually reinforced my views that it can be really fulfilling to be in a community of people providing a service and a product that people really, really want.
See you later.
One typical British town. Its high street was once its heart and soul. Not anymore. But what if we could turn back time? To the days of the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker. A group of shopkeepers and their families have left the 21st century behind.
You are going to discover what the high street was really like.
Your aim is to make this town fall in love with its high street again.
Today's mantra is sell, sell, sell.
Each week they're living and trading through a different era.
Can I get them all left?
From Victorian to Edwardian.
Rabbits, pheasants.
Through peacetime and wartime. The swinging 60s to the shocking 70s. 100 years of high street history.
It's absolutely magical.
Can they sell the products of the past to 21st century customers?
Oh, the poor creatures. I'd be frightened to give this to the birds.
Pin, pin. And can they make a profit while they're at it?
This is unbelievably hard. I don't know how these poor buggers did this in the old days.
If I'm really being honest, I hate it.
This time, the high street reaches the 1970s. It's an era of fast-moving fashions.
Turn it up and fill the room with noise.
And simmering tensions.
You can't get more than me. It was horrible.
But as the High Street concludes its incredible journey,
I feel like I've been in a time machine.
will anyone still love it?
Hey, boys, you interested in some chicken?
For the last time, these 21st century shopkeepers have been kitted out for an earlier era. They're now heading into the 1970s, the era when chains and malls started taking over our towns. From this decade on, traditional local shops really struggled to survive. So the shopkeepers must cope with big changes as they return to the heart of Shepton Mallet in Somerset. Their high street's now been trading since the 1870s. And throughout, the Surgeson family have been the grocers. For most of that time, they've shared the square with the family butchers. But in the 1960s, the Sharps were put out of business. Now a new family are coming to take over the site. The Sanders will be running it as a convenience store.
In the 70s, I was running my dad's store. It's going to be fun. I just can't wait. It's exciting. It'll be great for the kids to see this era.
This is definitely not what I usually wear.
I think it's pretty cool.
Another high street store has changed use in every era, from penny bazaar to toy shop. Most recently, it was a hair salon. For the 70s, it's a record shop. Coming to run it is David Lashmar, who used to own Europe's largest second-hand vinyl store.
It's going to be quite a challenge, actually, because some of the people I'm talking to won't even know what an LP is.
Dressmaker Jill Cockwell has been on the high street since the start of the 20th century. But she really has her work cut out this time.
My honest view about 1970s fashion is that it's horrific. I was always going to struggle with this era.
Ensuring the traders stay true to the era will be the Chamber of Commerce. Historian Juliet Gardner, baker Tom Herbert, and greengrocer Greg Wallace.
Welcome to the 1970s. Now, the decade kicked off with great optimism, but there are turbulent times ahead. So it's really important that you give your customers the full 1970s treatment. This is the end of our experiment to see if history can give us any clues as to the future survival of our high streets. Feedback at the end of this era is crucial. We need to know what it is your customers want from their high street. Good luck. Go and see your shops.
Carl, Debbie, Harry and Saffron began trading 6 weeks ago as Victorian grocers. Just like another family from the era, 100 years down the line, they find themselves running a fully fledged supermarket.
Surgy Save.
It's quite catchy, Surgy Save.
Yep.
That's got a good rhyme to it, actually, hasn't it?
How's that rhyme?
Surgy Save, a counter goes.
The 70s was when supermarkets as we know them today conquered Britain.
Oh my God, cheese ravioli.
Vesta curry, man. Come back from the pub and you've had a couple. Boil in a bag normally.
Okay. Love it, love it, love it. Have we got any milk?
This is a drink I was allowed on Christmas Day.
That was supper, my goodness me.
70s processed foods promised to make life easier, and 70s supermarkets promised to make shopping quicker.
Now their premises are even larger. They've got their wire trolleys. They've just got everything that makes it convenient and easy to shop.
Well, I'm not convinced by it. It seems to be the sterilised kind of shopping that we know now, and that's not what the Surgesons have been up to now.
It's certainly very different from the small specialist deli the family run in their 21st century lives.
What we're doing nowadays in the real world to try and get people away from supermarkets. And here I am, running a bloody supermarket.
Most supermarkets in the 70s only opened between 9 and 5 Monday to Saturday. By law, only small stores selling essentials were allowed to open in the evenings or on Sundays. Which is how the Sanders hope to compete with the Surgesons.
Whoa! Oh my goodness!
Oh, Saturday! We've got the other store opposite. We have to open
Yes, we've got them locked.
They've got a bigger store and they've got more stuff.
Yeah.
So. Oh God, it's empty. We've got to stock it up.
Without the scale or technology of a supermarket, Every job in a typical corner shop was done by the family, and usually by hand.
Oh my God, there's loads in here. I didn't even realise.
Move everything from here to in there.
Yeah, you've got to stock it all up, Josh. Oh, you're the lucky one.
12-year-old Josh and 16-year-old Karina aren't used to shop work, but their dad definitely is. In their 21st century lives, the Sanders own an award-winning convenience store in the Midlands. Sundar's father bought a shop after coming here from India.
He said to me, look, there's 7 to support, because you've been the eldest son in the Asian community. It's your job now to run the store.
Sundar built the business from a single shop into a chain of 5 stores. 26 years of graft have meant his children enjoy a more privileged life.
I don't think the kids do have any idea what it was like for my parents when they came up, because it was really tough.
I think I could run the shop, like if I had to do it, but obviously I don't have to do it.
The children now have got to realise sort of they're going to help Dad, they've got to work hard. At their age, this is what I did.
Go, go, go.
Normally I'd just be watching TV or something.
Don't chocolates go up there and these sweets go down there?
I think this is going to be the hardest bit, getting it all ready. You have to actually price everything, pile on everything.
It's going to be here all night.
In the 21st century, Sundar wouldn't be doing this either. These days, he employs staff to look after the shop floor.
It's hard work, but we're going to try our best and do our best and be different.
They're going to have to work hard, though, aren't they? I mean, long hours. They've really got to make sure that they sell all the little things that people really want and they can't get at the supermarket.
A good corner shop can be a centre of community, just like a pub used to be. It really can be. It's where you bump into your neighbours, where you chat.
It can be, and let's hope it is.
I'm going super speedy, we need to go quick.
The Sanders are offering products which still sell well 40 years later. But the same can't be said for every store on the high street.
Oh, look, it's my shop. Good Lord. God, oh, how brilliant is that? A real record shop again. Fantastic.
1970s Britain boasted 5,500 record shops. There were also some 2,000 independent stores, like the one David ran for 3 decades until it was forced out of business 2 years ago.
When the shop was really running at its full, it was so busy, we had over 20 people working here. It was packed all the time. In fact, we used to have a chap on the door on Saturdays to stop too many people coming in. Now, how about that? It's a place that kids would hang out. You'd find bands that were getting together. It was almost a community place. I'm never happier standing behind a counter. Smells of records too, smells of vinyl.
I just don't know how David and his record shop's going to work.
I mean, there's only 270 record shops left in the country. There would have been 2 on every high street.
Great album.
It's not just going to be about the records that he sells and things, it's going to be about the way that he engages with his customers. And he's got to make them want to come to his shop and talk to him about vinyl and really see music in a sort of different light.
It's starting to look like a proper record shop.
I think he'll make a big success.
But if they buy a record, they've got to have something to play it on, and they don't exist anymore. It's like trying to have a blacksmith in here, trying to sell you a horseshoe for your car. It's not going to work.
Record stores weren't the only places selling youth culture on the 70s high street. Fast-moving fashion was now big business, which means there's a new street-level store for dressmaker Jill.
It's so not what I was expecting. It is loads posher. It's like a proper stylish boutique, and I was expecting a cheap shop full of loads of cheap nylon clothes, so this is fantastic.
What Jill has got to do is keep up with changing fashions. I mean, they change totally. Went from catsuits right through to punk.
But she is not the girl with the biggest entrepreneurial spirit. She's never, ever, ever taken any money.
Now I've seen the shop and the stock that I've got available and the fabric I've got available, I think I might have a chance of actually making some money this week.
At Surgisave, Carl wants to thrill Shepton's shoppers with an official opening. But back in the 70s, a new store could bring the whole town out onto the streets. The big chains laid on the razzmatazz, booking the biggest stars to do the honours.
It's publicity time.
Creating a sense of excitement in present-day Shepton Mallet may prove more of a struggle.
Mum, this is not working and it's really annoying me.
Whose idea was it to use the trolley anyway?
Ladies and gentlemen, can you please gather round? Come along. Come on. Closer.
The Surgisons have got David from the record shop.
Don't cut it yet, just look towards me and smile.
There's a lot in the crowd, isn't there?
Yeah, too big.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1! Cut it!
Yay! Right, come on then. In you come. In you come. Come on.
There you go, my love.
Thank you kindly.
There you go. Would you like some refreshments?
To lure in the customers, the Surgisons are reviving a supermarket competition from the era.
The winner is Blake.
Trolley dashes were a standard store opening stunt long before Dale Winton made a game show out of them. Sainsbury's called theirs Grub Grabs.
Great supermarket this week. Got all the public to know that we're here. We've got some good hits in the press. Perfect. Couldn't ask for more.
The corner shop hasn't the budget for a glamorous launch.
Let's have the doors wide open. And there.
I don't think anybody knows we're open.
Luckily, some of Shepton's residents have promised to shop only in the 1970s High Street.
Hello, sir. How are you?
And when they eventually trickle in, they find some products that Surgisave doesn't stock.
I haven't seen these in 2 years. Really?
We love curries.
Yeah.
All the Indian spices and things over here.
Yeah.
We haven't got a clue what to do with it.
Yeah, if you have a chat with Pam, she'll go through and tell you how to make it.
I'll write it down for you, I'll give you the basics.
That'd be fantastic.
And then you should be all right.
Okay.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Okay.
The corner shop was one of the places 70s Britain got to know more about Asian cultures. Sometimes shopkeeping was the only work available, even for highly qualified immigrants. Record shop owner David has gone glam for his grand opening. His store is quickly full of browsers, but to turn them into customers, he has some major hurdles to overcome. Long-playing records cost over £20 each in today's money, and younger customers have to be taught what to do with them.
Flip over the biscuit, as they say, drop it under the spindle. If you could just bring that down gently.
Like all good record shops of the time, David is offering his customers the chance to try before they buy.
You should have something there.
Let's look and sound.
You can make as much noise as you like. You're in a record shop. It's quite all right. You sing along with it.
But always got such a jewelry. Oh, this is brilliant.
It is brilliant.
Is this a live track?
Really good. Look.
I mean, that's how we used to sell these. It's not you going past the scanner and somebody going beep, beep. You actually got the chance to listen to them. You talked to me about it, saying, oh, I don't like that, I'll try something else. That was what buying records was all about.
Customers in the 70s didn't just get vinyl from their local record shop. Many of them got a musical education there too.
Thin Lizzy, Johnny the Fox, a very powerful rock and really nice. Check that out. When you come back and see us tomorrow, tell me whether you liked it. If you did, we can move in that direction. If not, we'll choose something else. Rob, you're going to take that original copy of Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon. And when your folks go out, turn it up and fill the room with noise. And you tell me how much better that sounds. All right, yeah, sure. All right.
David's enthusiasm is infectious. Though, to seal the deal, he does have to throw in a little something extra.
You got that okay? Oh, yeah. Not too bad, Susie. You're going to pick the speakers up where my hands are. Enjoy.
Because Jill has struggled to make any money from fashion in previous eras, the Chamber of Commerce are sending in some expert advice. Lee Bender knows all about making a business out of a boutique.
Hi, I'm Jill. It's lovely to meet you. I'm Lee Bender. Nice to meet you, Lee. Nice to meet you too.
Lee was the founder of one of the most successful boutiques of the 70s, Bus Stop.
We had our first one in Kensington. Everyone used to queue up in the mornings to get in.
Really? You had queues of people outside your shops?
We did.
Oh, how wonderful.
Yeah.
You must have been doing something right then.
Yeah, it was the first of its kind, really. My public were young, and so they were really interested in new ideas and new materials and new colours and the new music, and the whole thing went hand in hand.
A boutique owner needed to look the part. So Jill slips into the first 70s style she'll be selling. Glam rock.
You'd wear that now, practically.
I'm not sure I would wear it.
Would you not?
Do you know what?
Boutiques like Lee's sold not just single items of clothes, but a whole look. So Jill needs to provide accessories and also advice on which garments go together.
Yeah, that is glam rock, isn't it?
That's right.
It's shiny.
Yes, so if you had a third piece, then that would be really good, that was silvery. No, that doesn't work.
Customers can now put their 1970s style supermarket to the test.
It was so much nicer when you were serving us behind a counter.
And it was lovely.
It was.
I really enjoyed it.
Yes, but we have to go all the way around the shop before we get to you.
By the 70s, supermarkets had turned shopkeeping into a science. As a result, life for the Surgesons is easier than it's ever been during their whole century of shop work. However, efficiency comes at a cost.
You know, the fact now that I'm a supermarket manager, I'm stuck in the office, we've lost the interactiveness with the customers. It's all do-it-yourself, and they come out to me on the odd price we've missed, and that's the only interaction we get.
But do the customers care if they talk less with staff? Having experienced previous eras of personal service in the grocers, do they miss it?
I didn't like it at all, really, because you just get none of the service that you used to get, and I don't know, it's just going round and sort of, it's all impersonal now.
There was everything there I wanted, I suppose. There was everything, and it was easy shopping, but just not so friendly.
My experience in that shop is it's dead and it's cold. There's no life and there's no feeling. I like the old Mr. Sargison. He was always there to help, wasn't he? But anyway, unfortunately, he's gone.
The 1970s Mr. Surgison is too busy with his managerial duties, which now include distributing payroll.
Get in.
Come along, Harry, got some wages for you. This is a day's wages, your 1970, love.
I'll go away with you.
This is your wage.
Nothing.
How much have you got? How much have you got?
£2.25.
How much you get, Harry?
£3.25.
You can't get more than me.
Laws on equal pay for women were only enforced from the mid-70s.
Are you that outraged that you get paid less than the boys?
Yes, I am outraged, actually.
Unfortunately,
it is hardly anything to
it's the law.
To be fair, you have just sat on the till.
That's the law. Ladies don't get paid as much as men.
Why?
Because there's no price structure, there's no wage structure at the moment. It's women get paid what we feel they're worth.
OK, so whose bed are you going to be sleeping in tonight?
The typical 1970s high street shut up shop at 5 p.m. with one notable exception.
The other shops have closed now. All of them have closed.
Yeah.
Can't we just... No, you can't. Can you close early?
What did you say this morning? You're not going to get bored?
I'm not bored. I'm tired.
Get used to it then.
The 70s convenience store would make most of its money when the supermarket was shut.
Yeah, just that. Yeah, name and address would be good.
It also offered services other shops had abandoned.
I understand you do deliveries.
We do deliveries and newspaper rounds.
Excellent.
We're here for the customers. Customer demand and we're there.
You know, that's what I love about the Asians.
Yeah.
It's all about service.
Oh, yes.
It's the one thing that I noticed when I first came to this country was the lack of service. And I came in the 80s. Do you know, it's just the whole personal touch thing.
You just can't get that with the big stores now.
No, you don't. There's no time.
No, there's no time. It's just sort of in, out. And
I'll pay a little bit over the top for that kind of service. Rather than go to my local supermarket, I would pay a little bit extra to get what I want.
Above Shepton's new supermarket, the Surgesons can spend their evening relaxing at home.
Mr. Mark Mullins.
After a profitable first day's trading.
Get it on. Bang a go.
I love this song. I want hot hats. We made a lot of money because a lot of people came in, which was good.
People weren't just buying daily shops, they were buying weekly shops. So that more money was going through the till a lot quicker, which was really good.
To compete with a supermarket, small businesses have to work harder.
See you, boys. Bye. Bye.
They also have to work longer. Sundar finishes a 14-hour shift at 9 in the evening.
The first day I was so tired, but this is like going back in time, and it was tough.
It did make me think about how my dad had to work when he was younger, because it was a lot of hard work. I don't know how he did it every day.
Reliving his youth also reminds Sundar of some of his father's old money-making schemes.
Dad, he was very clever because he got Mum to make onion bhajis and samosas. Again, the locals loved that. It's a pity I couldn't have done that today, but maybe tomorrow.
The next morning, and the man who was working latest is up earliest.
Rob, want to wake up, matey? Yeah. You did say that you could get up for 6 o'clock. You're going to do a paper round. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, good boy.
The convenience store opens 2 hours before their rivals at the supermarket.
You got one extra there, anyway.
We'll just have as a case.
Another competitive advantage for the Sanders is cheap labour.
Latest peeps. Oh, this is legendary.
No unions to worry about when you keep business in the family. In the 21st century, many newsagents no longer offer paper deliveries because they can't pay enough to persuade modern kids to do them.
If my dad paid me less than £5 for my work today, I would probably never do it again, as it's such a hard job.
Hello, Josh.
Josh is going to be paid the going rate for a paperboy in the early 70s.
It's 15 pence.
That's just £1 in today's money.
Yeah, you should be grateful you're getting 15 pence because we got nothing whatsoever. What we have to do is work all day at the till, and we just have to do it. If you want to buy some sweets with that, you can buy them here and see what you can get.
Really not fair, not at all, literally. That is hard doing that, very hard.
At David's shop, customers are returning with feedback.
There's something really satisfying about having the music in your hands rather than in a sort of computer file or whatever.
Compared with the CDs that you get today and the downloads from the internet, it was disappointing.
I'd forgotten all the difficulties with vinyl that there was, with the jumping and the scratching. We put up with that during the 60s and 70s, and I said to you, I don't know how we put up with it.
I don't think I could go back to it at all.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I've lost 2 customers.
There was only one alternative to vinyl which a 70s record shop could offer.
Could we try the Animals?
You certainly can.
That'll bring back a lot better
memories. You just have to bear with me. This is slow 1970s shopping. I've got to rewind it now.
No, I don't care for that. Could you put it onto the next track?
No.
You can't?
It's a cassette.
Oh.
The other trendsetter on the high street also has out-of-date stock to shift, but at least she can pass it off as vintage.
I think it's quite well, actually.
It's great. There's a mirror right here. What shoe size are you?
5'6".
As advised, she's not just trading in frocks, she's pushing accessories too.
Lovely, thank you so much.
For the first time, Jill is selling stock she didn't make herself. When mass-produced clothing first appeared on the 1930s high street, Jill preferred to stick with bespoke dressmaking.
I'm not really a salesperson who's just about selling for the money.
It was time-consuming and not very profitable. The beauty of a boutique, however, is she can still make use of her dressmaking skills when she chooses.
I've actually brought some things in. I was wondering whether we could sort of vamp them up a little bit.
Great.
Jacket. I think it's absolutely seen better days.
Oh, I've got great ideas for this already. We could whip this collar off, and then I could do a bigger collar in the leopard print.
Jill also remodelled clothes in the make, do and mend years of wartime. She seems to be drawing on everything she's learned in previous eras.
Oh, I've got to try that on.
Whether she's also learned how to make money, the customers will decide.
It's just fantastic to have a boutique like this in Shepton Mallet. My goodness me. The one thing we haven't got is clothes shopping. Now, this would be heavenly, something that would draw people from miles around. It'd be wonderful.
Whoa, Zoe! We had a really good time in there. That was like mine and Zoe's heaven, or idea of heaven. This could be a contender for my favourite shop in all of the eras.
In their home above the corner shop, Pam and Karina still can't escape from work.
Oh, this is disgusting. I've got mud on my hand. Ew.
They're making something that teenage Sundar used to sell in his father's shop.
Don't know how hot they are, so I'm only going to put 2 in.
Samosas.
That smells disgusting. I hate the smell of that stuff. Makes me feel sick. I feel like an Indian granny. A proper Indian granny. I don't really like Indian food.
You like your chicken curry?
I like chicken curry, that's it. I just don't like the taste of it at all.
The cooking's not the only culture shock Karina's experiencing after 2 days in the 70s.
I miss my clothes, I miss my phone, I miss my friends, I miss my bed. I miss everything.
You've got it easy nowadays, though, haven't you?
Yeah, but you didn't know any better, though.
But then...
Because there wasn't Blackberries out then, there wasn't iPhones out in the 70s, so you didn't know.
Yeah, but we lived without it, though, didn't we?
I know, but you didn't know any better, though.
Downstairs, the other half of the family starts selling the samosas.
My wife actually made them. Yeah, sort of let me know what they taste like.
I love it. I can taste the cumin.
So she says I'm making them myself. They go, oh, we'll have a few. So it's been different, and I think it's definitely taken off.
But while the Sanders sell fresh, homemade produce, their rivals are pushing the opposite.
Got some lovely little ideas here, so maybe make life a bit easier when you've had a hard day at work. Burgers, pizzas, ice cream, fish fingers.
At the start of the 70s, just 3% of British households owned a freezer. But by 1980, half the country did. Frozen food became big business.
Especially flown in from Italy just for you. We've got lasagna.
Totally exotic.
Oh, yes.
Shoppers who would once have bought fresh meat from their high street butcher now bought it frozen instead. To boost sales of chicken, which rocketed in popularity during the cost-conscious 70s, the Surgesons embark on another PR stunt. The 70s was the last era when supermarkets would serve up showmanship with the shopping. The Surgesons first learned the art as Victorian grocers.
World's largest cheese! I'm selling the world's largest cheddar tomorrow at the market.
Afternoon, Shepton. I'll come and show you our giblets. I mean, have a feel, isn't it? That's a nice little fillet.
Oh, yeah, nice bit of breast on that.
Oh, yes, we like a nice bit of breast, don't we?
Oh, yeah, I've got one of those on my liver. They're nice, aren't they?
Oh, they
nice
are.
and plump.
They are. Come and visit our store. Lovely new modern supermarket.
Are they free range?
I don't know, and I frankly don't care.
Well, I do.
No, I would imagine, just for 1970, it would have been mass-produced.
Yes,
Factory.
definitely.
It would have been pumped them out by the millions, so the chances are no.
Now the novelty has worn off, David's shop is struggling to attract customers. He too needs to come up with a promotional gimmick. A guaranteed crowd puller for record shops was a personal appearance by a famous band. Scenes like this brought glamour to the high street, as well as big sales for the shop. So David is trying to book a star from the era.
My name's David and I'm running a 1970s record shop in Shepton Mallet, and I'm really phoning to see if it's possible that David Bowie might be able to come down and do an opening for us. I wondered if I should just bypass Queen for the moment and go for The Who. I wonder if you'd be good enough to give me a call back. My name's David. I really look forward to hearing from you. Bye. Well, you never know. Blondie.
Have to email her agent.
I have a big problem with emails because we are a 1970s record shop. We don't actually have emails or anything like that. All I can do is to write or phone. They're missing opportunities, these people, you know.
As the rejections pile up, David sets his sights a bit lower.
I know you represent the Quo. I wonder if there's any availability. I'm trying to find a big and important band such as Mud.
Just when he's running out of hope...
We've got a yes! Brotherhood of Man, this is absolutely brilliant.
Oh my God.
The high street has been hit by a 70s-style power cut.
Well, that's a bit stupid because the fridges are all the food's going to start.
Yeah, so all them frozen chickens will be fresh chickens.
No, yeah, that's a bit bloody.
Who's turned the lights out? How can I have a record shop without any lights, without electricity?
For the Surgesons, with their extensive range of frozen and chilled food, this could be a disaster.
In the event of the freezer breaking down, the priority is to minimise the amount of stock loss by trying to keep steady temperature. Wrap the freezers in blankets to retain the temperature.
Right, what about fridges? Doesn't say anything about fridges.
No, it doesn't say anything about fridges.
It's a minor strike, but it's an opportunity to sell the batteries and the torches. We need to get them out.
The ever-enterprising corner shop is stocked for just this eventuality.
You are a lifesaver.
That's it.
It's a shame you can't provide a generator for my sewing machine, then I could get on with some work.
Not only has the supermarket checkout ground to a halt, their products are beginning to thaw.
Our fridge stock won't last very long without refrigeration, so we're going to try and get it in a trolley and try and flog it to people in the street and send them cooking for the tea tonight and get it gone. Right, so 50 pence for that, sweetheart. It's going cheap. It's cheap, you know. Here, boys, you interested in some chicken?
Not my legs like that, mate.
How about these ones in here, then?
Right, do you want 3 chickens?
£6.
6 quid for 3 chickens.
That's a deal, that's a bargain, that is.
You won't be here. I'm happy with the price. You do Tesco's out of business, you will.
Well, that's the idea.
Nice.
When power's restored the next day, the Chamber of Commerce have delivered new stock to Jill's boutique.
I guess Punk's in. Good, I don't mind leather, that's fine.
As usual, Jill takes it on herself to be a trendsetter and models what she sells. And then she offers a makeover to the other high street retailer who's got to keep his finger on the pulse of fashion.
Come on, it's a cross between Sid Vicious and Ken. I'm Sid Dodd. Look out, you turn! Yeah!
But David's first task of the day is publicising a band not many anarchists were into.
Don't be scared. It's only me underneath all this. I've got Brotherhood of Man coming down to the shop. The real Brotherhood of Man are coming in to sign autographs. Have you heard of the Brotherhood of Man?
Yes.
They had a #1 single, Save All Your Kisses for Me.
That's right, yeah.
He knows that a successful record retailer must focus not on what's cool, but on what will sell.
Anything about it? They're actually turning up at my shop this afternoon at 5 o'clock, Lashmar's Records. Okay. You have to fight your way through the crowd, I think. It's going to be a big event this afternoon, what I hope it is.
So far this morning, Sundar's been working on his own.
Okay, Josh Krina, it's 10 o'clock. Time to wake up. Daddy's been in the shop for over 3 hours and you're still in bed. You gonna get up?
The young Sanders have had enough.
I'm not looking forward to getting up working in the shop because it gets monotonous.
10 o'clock is not good enough. Yeah, ideally, they should have been here sort of 8 o'clock with me to help me out.
But Sundar has a plan that will force his children to take on more responsibility.
Krina, Josh, can you run the shop for 2 hours while we're away?
No, you can't.
When I was small, I used to run the shop.
This is child
this
cruelty.
is
Yeah.
times.
Good evening.
Bye.
By the 70s, it was only in small family businesses that a 12-year-old like Josh would be seen working.
This is our cheese, bacon.
First, the junior Sanders have to master the most basic of shopkeeping skills.
I think it's £2, isn't it, the jam? £2.12.
£2.51.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I don't have to work the till. Yeah, that's £3.77.
£3.77 altogether?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Josh isn't sure his sister has got her maths right.
Here you go. It's £1.23.
£2.50 for the jam, then 2 packs of spices.
We need a calculator. Hello. Hello. How are you?
72p for the rice.
We'll find out the price of the rice first. John.
How did that manage to happen? Right, I'll clean that up in a second. Karina, do you know what this is?
Oh, that's that Indian stuff. What's it called? It's an Indian spice.
I think it's going really well, as we've had quite a few customers in, but we've served them happily, and all of them have been happy. So I think it's going really well.
I wouldn't go into a business if it was like this, because it's so like extreme. Like everything's just hard.
After 2 hours, the bosses are back.
Did you enjoy it?
No, I didn't enjoy it all. I hated it.
Why?
It was horrible.
I think Karina got a bit stressed. I don't know why.
There was loads of people in here.
By the time Juliet from the Chamber of Commerce pays a visit, Josh and Karina already have a fuller understanding of what life was like for their parents in the past. But there's one aspect of the 70s which Sundar hasn't shared with his children, the racism he experienced. And at a time when extremists were regularly on the march, Sundar himself was assaulted.
I remember one particular one. I was sort of going to the shop and a couple of lads were sort of shouting sort of racist names to me, and I ignored them, and one of them tapped me on my shoulder, and I just turned around and he just punched me in the face for no reason. And I had another punch in my face, and I thought to myself, why am I getting beaten? I've done nothing whatsoever. I'm so glad so my kids are not going through that.
I think hearing your story, which is really, really very painful, and it's a very, very shaming story.
It was tough, and we're trying to do a business at the same time as well.
And there's no point in doing it, really.
When all you're trying to do is make a living and serve the community.
Exactly.
Very shameful story. It really is a very shameful story.
I can't understand why I didn't tell us about it before, because it's emotional. Because I'm usually quite a strong person, but hearing that kind of stuff makes you quite upset, because like it happened to your dad and your granddad, so obviously it does hit you quite a bit.
The kids really don't know any of this. You don't really tell them kids that.
I feel quite glad that I'm living life now and not then, but I feel sad for my dad being so shocked and scared, waiting for the smash.
Jill is punking up her punters.
Oh my god! That's so good! What's your mum gonna say when she sees you?
Punk was a movement that valued independent designers like Jill. And is still a model for how small retailers can put 2 fingers up at chain store conformity.
It'd be brilliant for Shepton Mallet to have shops like this. Just it would add such creativity to the town. I think it would be really fun. Do you know what I mean? You see it in big cities and really cool arty areas and stuff, but not in Shepton.
In the big cities, all the shops are all the same, so it's lovely to have something so different in the smaller towns.
All right, thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Thank you, bye.
I've got some leather gloves you might like.
Shepton shoppers have now had time to make up their minds about their new supermarket.
It's all about sort of get round the store as fast as you can, get it in the basket, get out quick, and the supermarket at the end of the day just wants your money. The corner shop, that was much more personal, more enjoyable experience.
But they didn't have the produce. There's not so much selection, and you weren't able to pick things up and touch them and browse so easily.
You get the personal service, don't you, in the corner shops, whereas I always think in a supermarket, you're just a number to them.
More and more Britons in the 70s shopped for groceries just once a week, thanks to more of us having freezers, cars and supermarkets. So it's a sign of Sir Save's success that it's become emptier as the week goes on.
I'm stuck on here just doing... It's all I do all day long. So it's pretty boring, and when there's no customers it's hard because you just have to sit and just wait for them. In all the other eras, if you didn't have customers, it was a bit of a godsend sometimes because you had a lot of other things to do.
I am bored beyond belief. I mean, I'm completely lost. We've gone through all the eras and we've been de-skilled. We don't roast our own coffee anymore, we don't make our own butter anymore, we don't blend our own tea. We do nothing. We've gone literally from sacks to packs, and it's all downhill as far as I'm concerned.
Yet even though no one has any love for the supermarket, people keep using it.
I mean, I miss the little shops, you know, you do, but it's all right. You get what you want, and we're always in a hurry, so it's okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, citizens.
It's time for Lashmar Records' big PR event. There hasn't been a crowd this big in the town square since VE Day.
This is not a cover versions band, not one member, his mate's dog and his auntie. This is actually Brotherhood of Man.
One second, I'll sign this first.
If you get them to sign that, you've got a collector's item then.
And you.
Use one of my bags to get it signed on.
Thank you.
There we are, because it is us that's putting it on, Lashmar's Records.
And his promotional campaign finally pays off.
We had them queuing at the counter for the first time since we opened, queuing at the counter, waving money and buying. So if you do something extra for the customers, say, this is special, this is community, this is where you can hang out and have a laugh, they'll flock to your doorstep.
For David, today's been about much more than making money.
It's actually been quite emotional to me. I realise how much I miss it. I love trading, I love records, I love music, and I love a relationship with my customers.
Absolutely wonderful.
And that's something which I'm aware how that gradually was eroded. So there's a degree of emotion and loss.
It's the last day of trading on the historic High Street.
I just think it's going to be a really sad day today. And I know for a fact if I see somebody crying, it's just going to stop me off, and I hate that. I don't want to be crying.
By now, the young Sanders are getting ready for work without too much complaint.
Suits you with your hair tied up, Karina?
It does not.
It's disgusting. She's tied up all the time.
No, it doesn't suit me at all.
And their shop has some new stock.
It's a nice plate, isn't it?
The Queen's Silver Jubilee in 1977 wasn't just an opportunity to boost sales of tea towels. It also saw street parties being held across Britain. And Shepton Mallet's High Street is planning to restage these celebrations to mark the end of trading.
Typical British summer. Big celebrations, Queen's Jubilee, and it's tipping with rain.
It's really put the dampers on everything, isn't it?
That's an understatement, look at it.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Well, we should get this down and get this into a hall somewhere and have a bit of bunting in a hall somewhere.
Yeah.
Work quickly begins on relocating the street party away from the street. It adds to the stress on an already pressured morning. The shopkeepers also need to tot up their final takings. The Chamber of Commerce are back in town to inspect the accounts. Their first question, has Jill finally learned to be a businesswoman?
I've been doubting Jill's ability to take any money, and I thought 1970s fashion would be virtually impossible with those silly clothes. She's taken nearly 900 quid, 897 quid. I mean, hats off to that lady.
That's amazing. That's really, really good. I'm absolutely chuffed to bits with that.
She's just made it a buzzy place. Everybody in Shepton Mallet wants to hang out here, and they really want to keep it.
However, the other shop selling 70s style took less than a quarter of the money made by the boutique.
There's a need for what Jill does in the way that, you know, David's shop can only ever be a curiosity these days.
Exactly.
But, I mean, he has really got people into the high street, and he's got that personal service, and he's got the expertise.
But the till doesn't lie. 214 quid.
I think we've gone too far down the road now to persuade people that buying vinyl is a viable option.
She's not coming back, is it? So
I really like the
CDs will be gone soon. So.
I really like the concept of it, but it's not going to happen. Downloading's the future.
My laptop's just a little bigger than a vinyl, and it's got about 8,000 more songs on, so it's a little bit more convenient.
I've been a museum that sells some of its exhibits, and that's all I have been. This is not viable as a retail operation.
The other new arrivals on the high street worked harder than anyone. So have they been rewarded with a profit?
To take 550 quid, near as damn it, I think is a very credible job.
They made a success of things because they were prepared to work really hard. They were prepared to keep open long after the supermarkets. They couldn't compete on price, but what they could compete on was convenience.
Thank you, yeah.
That's 75.
Okay.
The most important thing that I've learned is that I can work more hours than I usually can, and the family can work better together than alone.
I think it was a bit of a shock to them. They realised how difficult it was for me while I was young, helping my dad out.
We're closer now and it's really good.
But the shop that took the most money was the place no one loves, yet everyone uses.
They've taken over £1,000 again. Throughout every era, the surgeons have proved to me they are a class act. If you combine hard work with some basic marketing skills, you can make a go of anything anywhere, and they've proved it here.
But for the Surgisons themselves, it's a hollow victory.
The 1970s, yes. What a boring era. I don't want to be a big conglomerate. That's not what I'm about. I'm more of a small businessman, and with any luck, I'll continue doing that.
I just felt like I lost my personality, and all that lovely personal service I'm used to giving kind of died.
In the 1870s, everybody was individual. You had your butcher, you also had your baker, and then as time's gone on, we've lost that now, and it's all come to me. I did the entire lot. History has showed us that the successful grocers have turned into the successful supermarkets of today, and have killed the high street.
At the start of the 70s, supermarket chains took 44% of all grocery sales. In 2010, they take almost 98%. In one town, however, the high street has come back to life, at least for the last 6 weeks.
Oh yes, come on in.
Now Shepton Mallet is out in force again for the Silver Jubilee party, joined by some familiar faces. Andrew Sharp and his son Michael ran the high street's butchers, and the Devlin family were the town's bakers from the 1870s until the 1960s, when both their trades were taken over by the grocers. Another casualty of progress was blacksmith Simon Grant Jones. Across the eras, all of them worked tirelessly to draw people back into a previously unloved town centre.
Oh my word, look at this. Look at this.
everybody's made friends, everybody has interacted with each other a lot more, not just people with the shopkeepers, but people with the other customers.
The High Street has really brought us all together as a community, and I don't see why it can't work like that again.
Ladies and gentlemen, we wanted to see what we may learn from 100 years of our High Street history and clues to perhaps the future of our high streets. And I think the biggest thing, more than anything else, is if you just look along this room, is the actual sense of community. I'm getting choked up. And chatting to everybody, it's most certainly possible that this can continue. There's enough brain and heart here to do whatever you want. It really is up to you, guys. It didn't matter what era we set this high street in, we had huge successes. We always did. And that was down to hard work and some marketing. If you can bring a little bit of razzmatazz, no matter what that is, a point of difference into the high street, into the shops, you will have a success. It's proved to me, undoubtedly, that there is a place for the high street.
But the future of any high street lies in the hands of its community.
I think I've just quite simply learnt that the high street won't work unless people want it to. Basically, it's up to the customers, not the traders, about what happens in a high street, because if there's no customers, then there will be no traders.
Whatever the future holds, Shepton Mallet now has to bid farewell to its time-travelling shopkeepers.
I'm not losing touch with you, honey, that's for sure. I'm sorry. Oh, it's been amazing. I feel like I've been in a time machine.
However tough it might now be for local shops to compete with the big chains.
I know I called you a Scotty Spiff, but I'll take it all back.
At least these traders have proved they could offer something extra alongside their rivals.
Pie, honey, pie. There's a place for these big corporations that can provide convenient, cheap, good quality products, and we can get them any time of the day or night and anywhere we go. That's what consumers want, clearly. So there's also a place for small, unique, individual businesses, and if you don't support them, every high street in the world is going to look identical.
Thanks for everything, you made it really special.
This project has absolutely proved that 100% that people love interacting with their shopkeepers. Bye, darling. Thanks for popping in. It's really nice to see you. Bye.
What is nice is like to see like a family like yourselves, and to get that service from you, you don't get that today.
People are important. When you're in a business, they are your number one, and you've got to look after them, because this is where you gain over the supermarkets. How do you overcome the competition? You do something different from the competition.
If you ever want to come back and open up a shop, please do. We need shops like this.
Very emotional. I can't believe what we've actually achieved, what we've done, everything we've gone through. But most of all, you know, we did this for a reason, and the reason is to bring our high street back. I hope we've achieved what we set out to do.